by commenting on any of our live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X, or of course, join us on our sexy new text line for the Weekend Warriors on 844-668-8462. Tell Ralph how sexy he looks.
Thank you.
We'll read that live on the stream.
Thank you.
Look at this. You guys got a good thing going here. I love
We
it.
certainly do. And you know what? I'm glad we brought you in because we needed an expert in our first topic, which I think everybody's clamoring for.
Uh-huh.
So last night, the Phoenix Mercury went down. People are asking, Asia Wilson, is she the best player in WNBA history?
Yeah.
3 times in 4 years. Second time that's ever been done in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Are
that's
you
not
really
where we're
bringing
starting.
this up?
Yeah, no, I know these stats. What can I tell you? I'm an encyclopedia
That you know the wrong things?
of relevant sports
Phil, this
media.
has been keeping me up at night. I mean, why do you guys think I joined the show today?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
We
now.
needed to bring in a WNBA
The
guy.
expert.
And that's what we did just for
Yeah.
you, the listener.
I'm the second most knowledgeable guy.
I thought
about
Jeffrey was the
here.
WNBA guy.
Yeah, Jeffrey's up there. If they lowered the rims, Jeffrey would be higher.
Wow.
I mean, let's all be honest. Athleticism is not chief amongst Jeffrey's.
They lowered the
qualities.
rims.
That's his claim. That's his claim.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to talk about last night's game.
No,
Let's talk about that.
that led us. So 2 teams fought and toiled
Yes.
for 15 innings
Holy
for
crap.
the right to lose to the Toronto Blue Jays first game because they burned all of their pitchers.
all of them.
Every single
All
one
of
of them.
them.
Any of them, and until they finally got to a bad one. And It
Yep.
was an incredible game. Feels like nobody should have lost because of just what a great effort. That is
Yeah.
playoff baseball.
Right.
The longest, and we should mention, this is a game between the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. Detroit Tigers, that is the longest by inning game in Detroit Tigers history, which when you're talking
Wow.
about Detroit Tigers, that's one of the legacy franchises. So
Yeah.
that's certainly a big thing. Certainly, I know it broke a lot of records in playoff history as well. Guys.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about the Seattle Mariners? Are they do they have the capability to bring the fish stink to Toronto Blue Jays?
I think they do. I mean, the pitching staff alone is it's solid, right? It's a good pitching staff.
Well, it'll take a little bit to get back to health, after having been fully utilized in this.
They get a
series.
day off, don't they?
They're lucky it's 7, not 5.
A day off, yeah.
It is 7. So
Yeah, they're lucky. That's a good
you're
part.
making that point.
Yeah.
I think the Mariners needed to get over this hump because it's been a while, right? And they have that fear of not getting out of that first round. And this is a big deal for them, I think, emotionally. So you can see it yesterday on their faces. You can see it on their fans' faces who are dying in the stands.
Right.
This is typical of a team who's just struggled in the playoffs. And here you go. 24 years later, they actually made it out of the first round.
Yeah, last time they did 2001.
Yep. So,
Goodness gracious. When they broke the record for most wins in a season.
well,
2001,
when
I
they
believe,
did
right?
that, no, that was in 2001. They had 116 wins. I can't remember the year, but they got knocked out in the first round.
Right.
Right. So they
Right.
still feel that sting. So this is a big deal.
Mhm.
I think it's a really good team, and I think you make a point that they're going to struggle in that first game, probably. Right.
For
just give that up as a loss. So
Yeah,
you
it's
won
probably a
one
loss.
to one in order to seal the series. You can't move
Right.
ahead until you beat the one in front of you. So
Right.
good on you. And you beat a really good pitching staff over there in Detroit because obviously,
Yeah.
again, you went through the entire thing. Scuba, what a gem!
Oh my
what a gem of a
gosh.
game to have lost.
What a pitching duel,
6
man.
innings pitched.
Yeah.
Had 13 strikeouts, the most of his career. And it was just, it's crazy,
Yeah.
again, that you can look at his pitching stats and that he lost this because, guys, the playoff hitting was certainly not there for the longest time. It took a while till we got that third run scored.
Yeah.
And of course, 15 innings. Seattle Mariners, I don't know if they have, whenever you see something like that, of course, you're going to pop the champagne. It is well deserved. And,
Sure.
by everything, it was certainly an achievement. You've made it further. I think what we've seen over there in Toronto is certainly ready and waiting for Seattle and getting a little licking their lips.
Was it more impressive for Seattle to beat the Tigers the way they did, or the way that the Blue Jays took down the Yankees? What's more impressive? I'm just curious what you guys
I
think.
think the way the Blue Jays just dominated
really?
the Yankees. More impressive, yeah.
See,
I would say.
I would go the Mariners, mostly because
Really?
for me, the Toronto Blue Jays, yes, they demolished the Yankees in short fashion, but I think that speaks more on the record and team composition of what's left with Garrett Cole out for the New York Yankees. They were
Mhm.
very much heavy home run dependent. Like
Sure.
they didn't have a lot of generating runs. It
Yeah.
was just okay, somebody got on base, maybe Aaron Judge at worst got a double. And
Yeah.
then now who's coming up behind him? Giancarlo Stanton, or maybe not, depending on the lineup day or whatever. And so that was how they generated an offense.
Yeah.
And they certainly didn't have a lot of defense outside of maybe a Cody Bellinger and
Right.
No,
a
they
few
didn't.
things here. They were very much deep ball dependent, and I think it was very one dimensional as a team
Yeah.
entirely. So, anyways, that's all to say. Toronto, I think, took advantage of mitigating and nullifying the one thing the Yankees did, as opposed to the Detroit Tigers. Credit to them for what
Yeah.
they've shown this postseason, because certainly with the crash and burnout that they had to end the regular season, I think that belied what was, up until that point, an incredibly dominating team. So for
Yeah.
the Seattle Mariners to eke one out in 5 games in a short series like this, to manage to go toe to toe with them, get Detroit's best shot. It was a good team that was on a roll here. I think that speaks well of the Seattle Mariners far more than it does the Toronto Blue Jays, who are a tremendous team. I mean,
For sure.
It's very close, but
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, man. When they pulled Kirby and Kerry Carpenter went and nailed that home run, I was like, oh shoot. Like the narrative's gonna be, you pulled him too early
Yeah.
and blah blah blah, and you lost it. But hey, they fought back. I mean, that crowd too, because that's a
that crowd
starving
was
fan base.
full of fish heads.
Oh my goodness.
They were out there throwing fish to one another. They were just having themselves a nice fishy
Yeah.
bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and congratulations, Mariners. I mean, we have a couple of fans that listen to our show up
Yeah.
in Seattle.
Good for
Congratulations.
them.
I'm pulling for you guys. I
Me
really
too.
am. The Mariners are my number 2 team. I'm going to pull for them against Toronto. But I thought what Toronto did. So we took some heat this week on social media. I did anyway. I guess Toronto's very passionate about their.
You didn't believe.
Well, I didn't believe.
You
But
gave
I'm-
in to the love of the Yankees.
I'm
The
mad enough to
Yankees
say
rose,
I
the
don't, but I don't
Yankees
love the
rose.
Yankees, right? I've had to clarify that online. I'm a Dodger fan, not a Yankee fan. I just felt that they had too much for the Blue Jays. I was wrong.
Just
Doesn't
so
mean I
incredibly
spoke
wrong.
for the entire United States of America, people in Canada. That's not how this works. We're not talking NHL here, where you guys sit there and talk bad about everyone down here, but you haven't seen an NHL finals in I don't know how long.
93
anyway,
or something.
yeah, so it's been forever.
Mhm.
But you got to give the Toronto Blue Jays their due. I've got this. I don't know if you guys heard this. I want you to hear this real quick.
Dale, the Yankee lose. The Yankee lose. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
That was Vlade obviously having
Yeah.
some fun
Yep.
at the expense
Yep.
of a
I
couple
saw
of
that.
Yankees, Dieter, with his everything was. But I mean, they had some fun. They deserve it, man. It was a great win for them.
Highly impressive.
We'll talk about who we're going to pick next round. I've got some things to say to you, Toronto Blue Jay fans.
Yeah, the
I'm not
Toronto
gonna
Blue
say
Jays
that.
are an incredibly well-rounded team. They have certainly a lot of power through the lineup, and they've got great pitching options. Again, remember, they went through this DS with no Verlander.
Yeah.
That is an impressive thing.
But-
I mean, Verlander is a lesser version
He's
of
older,
what he is.
yeah.
Yes, it's not like they're
It's like,
doing this
it's
to
like
prime
today's
Verlander.
Kershaw, right?
No, it's closer to that, where Kershaw and a lesser team would be a starter. That's probably where Verlander is. So, but yeah.
So, let's go into it. Let's just say it. Okay, so you got Mariners and you got Blue Jays now. Where do we go with this? Who do you like in this series? Who do you think takes this series?
Well,
Let's just go there.
as my girlfriend and many people know, I am a big Dumper fan. Uh,
There's so many places we can go with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
can you blame
I do
the
like
guy?
myself a big dumper.
I can't blame the guy.
Yeah, but how can you possibly pick against the dominance that is the Toronto Blue Jays? For me, they have so much power in their lineup. They have versatility, and with their lineup to also generate runs. I think that their defense is solid. I think it's fine. It's fine and good enough to do. And then of course they have the pitching options. I there's not a thing on this team that I can look and say that's where it's weak, as opposed to a few spots here and there on the Seattle Mariners where I'd say,
Yeah.
I think that they're being carried. And when said big dumper is not performing, you saw it last night.
Mhm.
Like they struggle as an entire offense until like last night they just were able to finally move past it and get one more run. I will go with the Toronto Blue Jays and feel pretty confident about it actually.
Yeah,
How about you?
I mean, I'm staying with Phil here. I'll go Toronto. I
Absolutely.
mean, they've just looked dominant this playoffs. And the Mariners, you talked about it. The fatigue is going to be a question with the pitching. And the fact that they burned through their entire rotation and bullpen in one series. So they might get off to a really cold start. And can they rebound from that against a team that's looked darn near flawless this postseason? I don't think so. So give me the Blue Jays.
All right.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
they're starting the series 0-1. And
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately for the Toronto Blue Jays, you can't carry the production that you're inevitably going to get in game one with you throughout the rest of the games. You can't just demolish them 15-1 and take 13 runs of those to the next game. But it'll still be
Right.
a demolition.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays have been very good this year against the Mariners,
Yeah.
right? They've beaten them 4 out of 6. Last time they had a series sweep against them in May. Everything says Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. It all says Blue Jays.
Oh, no.
I want to say Mariners because
Mm.
I will admit that I do like the Mariners.
Me too.
You would be,
man.
you would be
America's
doing
rooting for
yourself
them.
a disservice. America's rooting for them.
There
They
we
are.
go.
They are.
America barely even knows. I mean, you go ask America, hey, what's the team for the Seattle
Right.
baseball franchise? They'll be like, oh, aren't they the Swordfish or something like that? Yeah, America's pulling
My,
for Seattle.
my head
Well, that's because
says
they're playing a Canadian team. But
true.
anyway.
My head
No.
says Blue Jays because of everything you guys just said.
Mhm.
My heart says Mariners. So I'm going to pick the Blue Jays because I feel that at this point in time, and especially with what they're going to have the first couple games, I think the Blue Jays should probably win this series in 6 is what I think.
Mhm.
And Blue Jays, I'm looking at you, Team Canada. I'm looking at you, Canadian Blue Jay fan. I hope you win. I really do. Because you know what? My Dodgers are going to be waiting for you. And I can't wait to have fun with that. You're going to get your butts kicked. All right.
You're gonna get
anyway.
your butts licked. Oh, wait, what?
Oh, something slipped
But
out
anyway,
there.
I do agree with you guys. I think the Blue Jays take this in 6. So
6. Yeah, I'm toying with a 5.
Mm.
you're toying with it.
I'm toying with it.
All right.
There we go.
Don't be
Oh,
touching my
goodness.
5s.
Mhm.
All right, let's talk about we have a game today. Actually, we had the Brewers and the Cubs vying for that last spot in the NLCS. That's been an interesting series where the Brewers took the first 2 games. Everybody
In
thought this is
dominant
over,
fashion.
right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Cubs found it, and they've won the last 2. And the one thing that I've seen, we've seen with the Brewers, which is something I've been saying, is I feel like they don't have the depth, especially the arms. They have a lot of good young arms,
Yeah.
but they don't have true depth. And you're seeing it. They're using bullpen per game. They'll use 7 pitchers in this game. I hate that model. I don't feel like they have these solid starters you can go to, and I think it's catching up with them. Now, today's interesting because you know what's going to happen. They're going to throw Miz out there. They're going to throw a couple big arms out there, and they're going to unload, try to win this game. You have to, right?
You
Which
can't
then
get to the
gives
next series without
advantage
winning the one
Dodgers, right?
you're currently in.
So I don't. Who do you think, Triple H? Who do you like in this game tonight? Who do you think wins?
I'll go with the Cubs.
Ooh,
I'll go
Wow.
with the Cubs. Yeah, we'll get a little cute.
getting a little dirty.
We'll get a
on
little
us.
frisky.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll take the Cubs. I mean, yeah, I think the Cubs have found it these last couple games.
they
And
really have.
the Brewers are that type of team who, in the playoffs, it's about your rotation shrinks to 3 instead of 5 at these times. And I don't know if the Brewers have the top end guys pitching. And so it makes me say the Cubs.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Pomeranz too.
The Cubs certainly have the top tier talent to contend with anybody. The problem becomes where the Brewers certainly have the well-rounded roster, where I don't think that
They
they
do.
have a hole
No.
necessarily, but they certainly do. Think of them like the Packers of the NFL, where the Packers, which is ironic that they're both in Wisconsin,
Yeah,
where the Packers, outside of Micah Parsons, and however you feel about Jordan Love, have like no top tier talent that is certainly star worthy, star level. And so, but they don't have any holes. Like there's no bad piece to the team construct. So for the Brewers, I wonder if in a 1-game series, it is now winner take all, whether or not the Stars can elevate their play as they have in the past 2 games. I wonder if, again, we've talked about this before, and now it'll matter less and less as the format changes. But in a 5-game series, if you can get to a winner take all, that's where you want to have the talent edge.
Mm.
That's where, yes,
Yeah.
you may have a weakness, but I think that your ability to up your ceiling, certainly helps. That being said, I think I'm going to go with the Brewers. I mean, I can certainly see how the Cubs will win. I think that they've reached their potential,
Yeah.
and it's just whenever you say the Cubs can beat the Brewers 3 times in a row. I don't think that's possible. I think the third one's where they get them. I think that this would have happened in a 7-game series, and the Brewers would have won in 6.
Yeah.
But because it's a 5-game series, by merit of just how the playoff is constructed for them currently, that's what makes it a decisive game, obviously, here, and you just have 2-2. I'm going to go with the Brewers, but acquiesce to the fact that the Cubbies may not be going hibernating just quite yet.
Okay.
You're the tiebreaker.
I obviously am pulling for the Cubs.
Obviously.
Because, well, sure, the Dodgers will have home field advantage
Yeah,
in the championship series.
that is true.
So that would make sense, right? I don't know, man. I'm looking at the pitching matchups, Talion versus Priester. Priester's had a good year. Both good pitchers. I like what the Cubs have found these last couple games. I was really disappointed in them the first 2 games.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the inexperience of Milwaukee has taken its toll on them a little bit these last 2 games. They couldn't close it out. I do love pocket pancakes, so that makes it really tough.
That is a factor.
It's a
in
big
deciding
factor for me
series
when
of
you can have
any
pocket
sort.
pancakes involved.
Do
I mean,
you or do you not have pocket pancakes?
especially if you
It's a
got the
good question.
if you got the right syrup, it all works.
Yeah, maybe even a chocolate pancake.
What is the right syrup there?
I can't talk
Ooh,
about that.
chocolate pancake. Making me hungry.
I'm going to go with the Cubs. I'm going to go with a team that I feel is on a roll. They've got the 2 in a row. I think maybe they can get the 3rd one tonight. I feel they've got all the momentum in the world right now, and the Brewers are starting to question themselves a little bit. And that youth, when you start doing that, I think hurts. I still say experience matters, especially team experience. And when you're inexperienced and you go through something like this where you get those 2 losses, I think it's hard to rebound. It doesn't mean they can't. It's going to be a close game. I'm not feeling fantastic about this pick, so don't beat me up about it, but I'm going to take the Cubs to win this game. That's where I'll go with it. Okay, let's go back to game 5 with the Dodgers and Phillies.
Oh, do we want to talk about that?
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. Because you know what? I've been saying it. I said it in our post game.
I'd love
show.
to hear what you said.
Experience matters. I keep saying that. Experience matters.
not what I remember
It
you saying.
means something. You know, it's exactly what I've been saying.
Because what I remember you saying in Triple H, you'll love to hear this.
Okay.
What I heard all post game was, don't worry about it. What they lost a game? So what? It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. What did I say?
Game 4. What you said was game 4 will be a blowout of
Okay.
epic proportions.
It
will go
was.
down in the annals of history.
It was.
Oh, it was.
It was an epic
It
proportion.
was it?
Did you see the end of that game?
I saw the end. Yeah, I didn't see the blowout. What I saw was you just releasing.
That guy blew his Achilles out or something. Something happened
Yeah,
there.
no, that was crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
one of the best games I've seen in a long time. That was 2 heavyweights going at each other.
Yeah,
right?
giving their
Yeah.
best.
The 2 best, and I did say that, 2 best teams in baseball with the best pitching staffs that went at it one after another. The thing that you saw different was the Dodgers were a little better, right? They kept getting runners on base. Now the Phillies kept getting out of it, right?
Right.
But the Dodgers kept throwing jabs and throwing jabs. And then it came down to Sasaki. And what did I say?
Sasaki was huge.
I said, Sasaki's their closer. It's going to happen. And what did he do? 3 scoreless innings. Sasaki has been an absolute stud
Revelation
in the
for him.
playoffs.
Yeah.
What is he? 5 1/3 innings. He's given up 1 hit.
Wow.
Right. And he's been back for almost 8 innings and given up 2
After
hits.
what we saw in the regular season, too.
Yeah, because he
Like,
was pitching injured. Being,
right.
I mean, he
Mhm.
came back.
Just getting
He
used to
asked him
it,
to
too.
help him with his mechanics. They fixed his mechanics. The guy's a stud.
Yeah.
What a closer.
So much talent.
He's going to be a difference maker as they go forward. But anyway, I felt sorry for the Phillies pitcher. What a tough way to go out, man.
Oh yeah.
That's tough. That's hard to swallow. If you're a Phillies fan, that's hard to swallow. But you know what? Again, inexperience right there, because what happened to that guy? He froze.
Yep.
The
Oh,
ball
yeah.
came to him and he froze. He didn't know what to do, and he made the stupidest decision he could have made, and he lost.
That's what it came down to, was Sasaki and Luzardo. Like, that was ultimately what it came down to. And
Luzardo pitched great. It was
Yeah.
Kirkering
or Kirkring.
that
that's right,
came
my
in,
mistake.
and he
Yeah.
just
The Kirkland brand.
yeah. I've been saying this too, and I'm going to play something from Muncie here real quick. But I've been saying this. I said the Dodgers remind me of the 1980s Lakers. The 1980s Laker could flip the switch after the season and just go. Right? Everybody be like, "Oh, they don't look good. They're in the season. They're just not." I go, "Trust me. The switch will get flipped, and they'll run and win a title." I want you to listen to Max Muncy. They kind of talked about this a little bit.
Okay.
You kind of suggested it a couple of times, talking about the up and down seasons, regular seasons, but the last 10 or so regular seasons have all ended here with you guys in the playoffs, and
True.
you start to play really well in the playoffs. Is it almost like this is an extension of the regular season? This is where you guys start focusing, because it kind of looks that way.
I don't know if that's the case. Obviously, every year in spring training, every team's going to show up with, a big speech about our goal this year is to win the World Series, blah, blah, blah. The reality of it is there's only a handful of teams that can actually say that as a realistic goal, and we're one of those every single year. And so for us, making the postseason is not something that you should ever take for granted, and we definitely don't. But we expect to be here, and once we get to this point, it's like it's just a whole nother level. And for a couple of years, we went through a stretch where we had a little trouble flipping the switch. When we got to this point, we rolled through the regular season, and we just couldn't find a way to flip that switch at this point in the year. And so the last couple of years, I feel like we've found that way, and I think that's just what's carrying us.
Flipping the switch is real. When you have team experience and you've been through battle together, you can learn how to flip a switch when you're a great team. And they've been able to do that. And they made that point. The last few years, they figured it out.
Yeah.
Right? 2 titles in the last 4 years. I think they're looking at their 3rd this year. But it's a real thing. And people just underscored that. And I'm telling you right now, the Dodgers, they flipped the switch. The rest of the league is in trouble. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's no doubt about it. The Showtime Lakers is such an interesting comparison that you say. Truth be told, they kind of remind me of those Warriors teams a little bit, and how they're so overpowered, and how they have all the resources possible, and there's just no stopping them unless if they lose the game, And it's like in the regular season, back in the day, you'd see times where it's like, like the Warriors look a little sluggish. They're not first in the West. It's the Rockets. They had the better record. But then ultimately they just flipped that switch in the playoffs, like the LeBron Heat teams.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are up there with that.
I agree.
Yeah, they are a legacy team. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a legacy team and a legacy franchise in a legacy moment.
Yeah.
All 3 of those things accumulate into one thing. I think that's why, for so long, we were wondering, why can't this Dodger team win the World Series? Like, it was an indictment. It was the reason why Dave Roberts got so much heat, because of the sheer amount of talent that was accumulated. And this was even prior to Ohtani. That's another thing of where you say, look at this just gross over accumulation of talent.
Right.
And so with that, when you finally have your ability to just meander and get your way to the postseason, that the cream's going to rise to the top. And especially when we're talking about Sasaki coming in and mitigating and all but eliminating your lone weakness that you have as a team of the rotation in the bullpen, being able to get out of the 8th inning in a clean closing area and hold on to a lead. When that happens and you no longer have a closer, you are going to go on runs. You're going to be able to flip switches, because at that point you are fighting a completely different battle. You are fighting complacency, and you are fighting injuries, to be quite frank.
Yeah. And they've been fighting them forever, and look what they've done. And there's people that are commented this week on online. They're all saying, "Oh, they just bought this." They haven't bought this. You don't win 12 out of 13 by buying this, right?
No.
12 out of 13 divisions. They didn't buy it. It was good managing. It was a good farm system.
The farm system has tremendously helped this team time and time
Absolutely.
again, even with their acquisitions, because it wasn't even until this year that they didn't make a trade deadline trade usually, and that's been through the amount of times that they've had a guy that was enviable, that was tradable through their farm system, that they were able to solo bring up, or even every once in a while bring up a Puig, every once in a while bring up a Sasaki, bring up a Yamamoto, where those are guys that they've scouted, that they have had on their radar and completely hit on.
It's funny. Phillies catcher JT Realmuto.
Realmuto.
This is his comment about the Dodgers. He goes, "In my opinion, they're the epitome of what major league should be. They go out every year and try to win. Their ownership is awesome. Their front office is great. It's an organization that the other teams look up to. And I see us as the same way." I agree with that. What's wrong with an ownership group wanting to win every year, doing whatever it takes to win every year, building a farm system that is going to make this happen? In 2021, when they drafted 15 pitchers in the draft, you're seeing that right now. Their pitcher-heavy drafts were paying off. It's funny. I was talking to Ronan Kopp, he pitches out in AAA Oklahoma City. He's a friend of ours, and he was telling me, because he's back for the off season, And he was talking about Sasaki. I said, tell me about Sasaki, because he was down there while he was down. I go,
Yeah,
what do you think about him? He goes, he's fantastic. His work ethic's amazing.
Mm.
He goes, he's just a great kid, great guy. He's going to be extremely successful. And I was like, that's just awesome to hear, because that's what it looks like from the outside. And he said, yeah, absolutely great guy.
Yeah, and I'm happy for Roki too, because dude, he took so much heat at the beginning of the season,
And he
so
was
for
beat
him-
up by it. You saw
Oh, he
his
was beat
facial
up.
expression.
He was.
Right?
I was at the game. I was actually at the game when he started crying, and there was
Oh,
that whole
jeez.
thing.
I
Yeah, I, was
remember that.
there. Yeah, and it was like
Ralph just wanted to
ooh.
hand him a tissue.
He probably did. Who's that guy in the field?
We have Blissful Hayes on the text line, says, congratulations to the Dodgers. Hell of a game. It was. That was one of the best baseball games I've seen in a while.
Absolutely. And I think that goes to, I mean, you talked about JT Realmuto. Let's talk about those Phillies and like, where do you go from here, especially for a team that we all agree. I guess I suppose that you're in the same boat with us, Harris, where that is the second best team, at least talent wise.
I think so.
Yeah,
in the
for
entirety
sure.
of MLB. Where do you go from there? Because the end result, I just plainly written out, is that you lost in the NLDS, and that is an unacceptable result for the Phillies, especially with
The
their
way
talent.
they lost.
And
yeah.
the third time in 4 years, am I correct in that
Yeah, I think
remembrance?
so.
Yeah, third time. Speaking of Realmuto, he's a free and pending free agent.
Yep.
Yeah.
David Robertson, Ranger Suarez, and perhaps most importantly,
Yep.
Kyle Schwarber.
They can't
and-
afford them all.
And they cannot afford them all. And all of them were incredibly important to this team. All four of those, and then and anybody else that you want to have, Max Kepler's also there, whatever. But just whatever. You're probably wanting to pay Kyle Schwarber. He's getting up there in age. Like
Yeah.
this team, I think the biggest problem is that it has a tremendous amount of talent, but we are almost capped out in every sense of the word, whether or not that's literal cap management and cap money, whether or not that is age and like being able to be at the top prime end of your peak, whether or not that is being able to acquire any more talent.
Yeah.
I through all realities, I think that this Philadelphia Phillies certainly are a contender, a title contender, no doubt. But you gave it your best shot,
Well,
and it was still not enough.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
this team's window is done. And what I mean by that, let me clarify. This team that includes those players that you just mentioned, they're not all going to be back.
No,
You're gonna-
it's
you
not
can't.
possible.
You better get Ranger back. And I'm
Yep.
not really sure if you want to overpay for Schwarber. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence on that one.
Really?
I am on the fence on Schwarber. I understand his value. To me, Suarez is the most valuable free agent you have, and Realmuto is the most valuable free agent you have. You need a good catcher that can handle a pitching staff.
Schwarber's
Right.
32.
I know,
and
that's
you're
the thing.
probably going to have to pay him
A lot of
10-year
money.
deal.
I don't give
A
him
lot
that.
of money for a
Lot
10-year
of
deal
freaking
for
money.
Schwarber, who the first 2 years of the deal, I feel pretty good about.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's
Yeah.
I mean, that will be an anchor around your neck.
If I
Yeah.
can give him a hefty 2 or 3 year deal, I would do it. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going to want a lot more. He has to. So I think you lose him. You keep your catcher, you keep your top pitcher, and you go from there. And you build. You have a lot of good guys in their farm system. They have a good farm system too. A couple of really good young guys. You bring them up, and you see what other piece you need in free agency. But I'd let Schwarber go.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's the only guy who was productive in this series, it feels like Trey Turner.
Oh no,
abysmal.
he had a bad series.
He had a really bad series.
So did Schwarber though. He only had one good game.
But he was the only reason why they won a game. Like it's the
true.
same. It's the same as Judge.
yeah.
Where like
That and
yes,
their pitching.
yeah.
Their pitching was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was fine. I mean, I hate to say that whenever it's what was it, an 8-1 game? I mean, yeah, you probably would put that on the offense. Anyways, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, some other guys too, like Alec Boehm, 1 year deal, Lazardo, 1 year deal, Bryson Stott,
Got to
1
get
year
Lazardo
deal.
back.
Yeah, Brandon Marsh, 1 year deal, and Mundo Sosa, 1 year deal. So the amount of guys, and those aren't like high capital guys, some of those, but they're important.
They're highly
pieces.
important for that team.
Yeah, and so the amount of guys that they're going to lose, you could say like this was the year when the front offices
Yes.
got together and said, "All right, let's make a long-term plan here." 2025 was looked at as the year for them, and if
This
it
was their
doesn't go
shot.
well, if it doesn't go well, then we're screwed.
If you watched the interview with Schwarber yesterday when they were back home in Philly, and he got emotional because I
Yeah.
think he knows his time in Philly's done.
Mm.
He
got-
knows it.
You guys want to?
Mhm.
I had to look this up because I was like, I think this is right. Schwarber's 32.
Yep.
Bryce Harper, 32.
Yeah, another one.
Trey Turner, 32.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm.
These are back end guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that
You-
sucks
you
for the
got it. You
Phillies.
got to keep Lazardo and you got to keep Suarez. If you lose those guys, that's where you're going to be in trouble. And I think both of those guys would look really good in a Dodger uniform. But anyway, if you're the Phillies, you got
have the
you got to try to keep those two, and you keep your catcher. You keep those three guys, and you build from there.
Yeah.
But Schwarber's gone, and he knows it. I think everyone knows it. And you're right. The window on this group is closed. And if this was their chance, this was their year, but they ran into that thing called the Dodgers. That's just a little bit better than everybody right now.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Schwarber even goes somewhere and makes them a contender all his own.
He could.
Like, what if he goes to? I mean, it would be hard to see that they spend this, but like to like the Brewers, like a team like that where it's like they haven't really paid anybody. They have a young up and coming team.
What about Padres? They need a bat.
I mean,
they do.
Do they have any more money? But yeah.
Well, it's true. They pretty much
Surprisingly
mortgage
do.
everything else.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they've got Mr. Johnny Hustle over there, Manny Machado. So
about
I mean,
the Cubs.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of places that could use him. I'd say that for the Philadelphia Phillies, you're kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't place because this is the best that you can do, and it's not good enough.
You know where I can see Schwarber going?
Hmm.
The Yankees.
And that's a good place
and it
to go.
checks out with the type of guy that they've gone
That's
after
their
too.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
So where he'd come and slide in, Cody Bellinger for the Yankees.
He's gone.
And it feels like he's gone because he's going at $27 million.
Well, he's declined his option, so he's a free agent.
Yeah, and so one would think Paul Goldschmidt, another guy where you got
up there.
Yeah, he's oh my gosh, he's
doing like
87.
37. Yeah, 36.
So he's guys. So the Yankees have a more established team that like going forward, like you know where they are. They might trade a guy here and there, like Jazz Chisholm might.
I hate that name. Just
does
for
it
so many
scare you?
reasons.
The Yankees are leading
bad.
the league in scary names to say, like that you have to be very cognizant of saying. Schlittler and Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah.
Both guys you just do not want to just have a run on the mill story and just like forget
Hitler and Chisholm. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeffrey said Shitler, actually.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I forgot that we're on stream actually, so I forgot. I was looking for the dump button, but yes. Absolutely. So the Yankees, you're saying that they could use Kyle Schwarber. I don't know if they. I mean, in theory, the Yankees can always use more top tier talent.
Sure.
The Yankees, like anybody, fits in there that they want to. I mean, and you have Schwarber and Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton, even the ghost of him. That is
punch 1, 2, 3 punch.
Now
that would be.
Now that is highly impressive. However, that being said, I don't think that solves your problems.
No, their problems are they need to
need
some better
pitching.
pitching, and they need to learn how to play defense.
Too one-dimensional, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Garrett Cole will fix part of the pitching. You would hope. I mean, he is coming back from an injury. He's a little bit older, so you have a little bit of an asterisk there. Right. They certainly like that's another like the Yankees. I think more so if they were to be picking players from other teams that they could have, it would be Ranger Suarez far more than Kyle Schwarber. Does Aaron Boone do anything for you if he gets fired? If he gets a cross hung up on him for this playoff series lost in the ALDS? Either one of you?
I think he should get fired. I think he's
to be fair, did you think that before the series?
I did because I think they're the worst defensive team of that talent.
You think
level.
that's his fault though?
Yeah, he's a head coach. He should be working on that stuff. And if they don't have
you think
players
that's the front office's fault?
Well, here's the thing: if I'm a head coach of a baseball team, which I've been, and I have players that aren't playing good on defense, and I'm working them, they're not getting better. I'm going to put the best defensive player in there because you know what? It's cost them a World Series last year.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. Right?
Sure, but they also
it cost
just
them this year again.
Yeah.
You better go to the front office and say, I need guys that can actually catch the ball. I need guys that can play defense. I love having bats, but I need guys that can actually field.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're right. It goes on the front office as well, too.
Right.
But you can only do, I mean, come on, you got to be better than that. I don't know how much fundamental stuff they work on. Or is it just that the guys are that bad? I don't know. I mean, Aaron Judge, I get it. I don't care how bad he is. The guys, you want that guy.
You're not
in your
getting
lineup,
rid of him. He's right in the prime of his prime.
Cody Bellinger's a heck of a center fielder, but you're going to lose him to free agency. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not impressed with Aaron Boone. I don't know. Just me.
I would say that Aaron Boone is the easiest fix on this team to at least hold some water because otherwise it's eerily similar for both of these teams actually of the Phillies and the Yankees where they both are pretty much fully realized teams as to what they are. Yeah. At least the Yankees have a Garrett Cole to say, oh, look at that. Or we didn't have Garrett. Or we would have, and that makes sense.
Right.
However, the Yankees still, as I mentioned before, and partly why the Blue Jays just absolutely just wiped their noses and took the bib home with them is because they were a completely one-dimensional team that had no diversity in offensive output, certainly no defense to speak of. And I don't know how with this team, how fully established it is, how you fix it even in a trade scenario, like I just don't know how you
I don't
manage around that.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's tough. I'm glad I'm not a Yankee fan.
So if we move past the losers and we
Yeah.
go towards the soon to be fully realized championship series of both teams, do you want to do Dodgers series first? Or I guess
Well, we already did the other one.
okay. Let's do the other one.
We don't know who they're playing.
I guess that's true.
It doesn't
yeah.
matter who they're playing. They're going to win. But I mean,
That's kind of why I was like, eh.
we can touch on that next week.
Assuming they're your World Series pick, Ralph.
They're going to win
The
it all.
Dodgers.
I've been did it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could
If-
assume
if-
that.
The only one we were sort of afraid of was the Phillies.
I said whoever wins
Yeah.
that series wins the World
I
Series.
think the longer series, we can go here. I think that the longer series for the Dodgers, like who they are rooting for today, would actually be the Cubs. I don't know how you feel
Really?
about that. I feel like the longer series for them that they would have more trouble with is actually the Brewers. That team
I
is
disagree.
worse for them.
If you're the best team, I think the scariest team you could play is the hottest team.
Hmm.
And so if the Cubs are just continuously red hot like they've been these last couple of days, then that could be scary. So I would say
Yeah.
they're rooting for the Brewers more so, but
I don't. They would probably root for the Cubs because they want to be home.
and that too.
oh yeah,
Right?
that's
That's a
a
big deal.
huge part. Yeah, that's a huge part.
I think honestly, of the two, I think the Brewers are less of a challenge because of the pitching. I just don't think in a 7-game series. Now, when you go to a 7-game series and you have the starters the Dodgers have, now their advantage.
But here's the
right?
thing. I think that their style of play specifically is antithetical to the Dodgers, to where, yes, they may get down
Mhm.
3-0 in a series.
Mhm.
But once that bullpen comes in, you would think that it's assured of it's going to stay 3-0.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to where the Dodgers have been weak. I mean, they'll have to throw Kershaw at some point. You can't throw Sasaki in there every single game at every single moment. So you would think that
You
the
kinda
Brewers.
can. He's your closer.
It depends. I mean, you'd like to at least get a few games off, and so that way they're not seeing him again and again and again. Anyways, and if you're the Brewers
I would.
and you realize that you're the upstart or whatever, I don't know. It's an interesting thought process on who they would prefer. I just think that the differing styles of play, as opposed to we've seen the high talent upswing from certain other teams, and that didn't work. I think that the complete team with no weakness is who's young and has nothing to lose, knows that they're the underdog, is actually a little more scary for the Dodgers. Possibly.
I don't-
I mean, only time will tell.
I don't mean to be arrogant, but I mean, I just don't.
I don't mean to be
I feel
arrogant.
like we got through the biggest hurdle we're going to have.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
that's
well,
true.
at least in the NL.
I don't care about the AL. I don't think there's an AL team left that can touch the Dodgers. Neither one of them.
Not the Mariners.
No, hell no. Not a chance.
You talk about the Dodgers like I do the SEC.
That is true. There is just a
Speaking of that, should we
genuine-
leave baseball?
yes. Let's
Let's go to the college football game. Let's go to your
Let's do it.
expertise. I know
Let's do
you're a big SC. I don't know why you're a big SEC fan.
WNBA.
Let me see. Is Alabama's up
The reason
17
why
10
I
and a
came.
half. So we got that going on.
Yep.
On
Yeah.
the road.
Let's talk about
Roll
tonight
Tide.
real quick with Sam Levitt. He's out versus Utah.
That's big.
I think that's
Terrible.
a big deal. I mean,
Terrible.
I don't see every game I've watched with ASU without Sam Levitt. They don't have a prayer,
Mm-mm.
right? So I think
No.
this is going to be ugly.
Yeah, they brought in Jeff Sims, who, if you remember, was a starter last year against Cincinnati, and that did not go too well. And so, yeah, the reason I was actually set to bet on ASU, I was set to pick them in an upset. But with this in mind, and with how good Utah is in the trenches too, like they got dudes on that D line. It's a
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham D line,
Yeah.
front seven, and now you take out the quarterback. Well, they're not going to think they're going to make Jeff Sims beat them,
Mhm.
and he's not going to be able to.
This is going to be ugly, isn't it?
I don't know if it's going to be ugly. I don't know if you saw this. The spread moved from -4.5 Utah to -10
Yeah. Instantly.
as soon as Levitt went out, which is like, I mean, a vast difference. You never see that.
No.
And so, yeah, Utah's going to win this game.
So does this make 5 in a row, Harris, for you? 5 times that you picked against my beloved ASU Sun Devils, you
I
charlatan?
was so pumped. I was set
You
to pick them and
backstabber?
everything, and then I find that out. It's like crap.
You are this close to being disowned. You know what? I have friends in the office of the degree
Yeah.
revocation.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're going to get
And
rid of his degree?
I'm not saying that
It's like a
Harvard-
social services degree. It doesn't pay anything anyway.
Come on, Ralph. It's the Harvard of the West.
the moment you
Okay.
need to swipe your
Wow.
little degree card, just don't be afraid. Don't be surprised if it comes up voided. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I mean, I think he's okay with that.
That being said,
He's in radio
I was alre-
broadcast. He
I was-
doesn't need
yeah,
his degree anymore.
I was already afraid of this game prior to Sam Levitt being injured and out. They're on the road. They're in Utah. The Mormons will swarm and go to help Utah in their time of need. Arizona State is hanging on by a thread as far as rankings concerned as well.
Yeah.
While they have some of the most impressive wins, part in that is because of the heroics that they've had to dig themselves out of their own messes. I think a wide receiver that they have, their stud, is only as good as the quarterback throwing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, I think, wins this, and unfortunately, I think it is handily. I think if you even need to bet it, it's Utah.
After all that,
This is my first time that I picked against my alma mater. What can you say over there?
I'm gonna be like,
and don't come to me, Mr. UCLA.
I'm
over
gonna be
there.
a Randy White guy. How's that?
Oh,
This is gonna be 87-1. That's a Randy
You have
White
a promo?
prediction.
You have
Yeah.
a promo loaded?
No, I'm with you guys. I think this is. Yeah, I'm betting Utah.
Yeah.
what a disappointment. You know, like it just as far. I mean, you know, it sucks for the guy. Obviously, you always got to go that
Mhm.
route first. But just when you hoped that this would be a defining moment for the program and to really
Right.
bolster what had lost a little bit to a Mississippi State loss early in the season, that is looking better and better as time goes on.
Better than we thought.
Yeah, certainly at the
They
time
played
it was-
Tennessee
it was
tough.
devastating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I knew I could get Harris on that. I knew if I could get him and just say, "Hey, doesn't Mississippi State look great?" Well, I mean, they play Tennessee, so yeah, of course they do. So yeah.
What-
That being said, Arizona State, it is so
Yeah.
just disappointing of a moment that they could have met. I
Yeah,
think.
I'm so disappointed. What about USC Michigan tonight?
Oh, gosh, an interesting one.
I think so.
Because Bryce Underwood hasn't looked too great this year. I mean,
At least throwing the ball, I'd say running the ball, he's looked
he's
very
looked fine, but I mean, that USC front seven, you know, people think USC and they think they score a lot of points, but defensively they're really lackluster.
In the
USC
back.
front seven ain't too bad.
But that back is bad.
That back at the secondary,
And it's hurt.
Concerning.
So you got people that don't even play back there now.
Right.
That's what
right.
happened last
Uh-huh.
week
Mhm.
or 2 weeks ago.
I'd
Yeah.
imagine Ralph hasn't seen this. Do you know who's favored in this game, Ralph?
I have not seen
USC.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah. USC minus
Because-
2.5.
but that's not
Yeah.
really favorite. They're at home. You give them 3 for being at home. So I look at that
Yeah,
as Michigan
Coliseum.
plus a half.
Yeah, no, it's an incredibly close game. Like Michigan is ranked 15th, and it feels a little fluky, like a
Little
little
bit.
Like you're like 15th, and then you look who's behind them, and you're like, well, I guess I can understand.
They beat a
why.
Nebraska team that's worse than we thought.
Hmm.
And so,
Hmm.
they lost to Oklahoma pretty decisively. That scoreboard is worse than what that game indicated. And so I look at USC, man, and Michigan. I don't know if Bryce Underwood is capable of winning this game himself. That SC front seven is really good. And Michigan's only offense at this point is probably Justice Haynes. And Michigan's secondary has looked lackluster. Like against New Mexico, they were giving up a lot of points. And you look at those USC receivers, Maava looks great.
Oh, they're
They
sick.
they can throw the ball super well. I don't think that Michigan secondary is going to pose a huge concern. So yeah, look, 9 times out of 10, tough beats pretty, but I think pretty wins here. I think this is the 1 out of 10.
Tough
You would know
beats
this,
pretty.
Ralph. So tough beats pretty.
Hmm. I
Interesting.
dated
Tough
a
beats
lot. I
pretty.
dated a lot of tough.
You dated a lot of tough. Well, that's a
Because the pretty kept
different
saying
conversation. Usually pretty beats tough there.
Tougher than a Sizzler date.
Yeah.
I can't even believe I'm saying this. I
Yeah.
love Mayava. I
Yeah.
hated him last year. I thought
Yeah,
he was
he didn't
terrible.
look great last year.
Well,
Yeah.
Do you love Mayava or do you just love Lincoln Riley? Because I feel like that is a coaching up job of the age.
Both.
Like this has certainly reassured me of Lincoln Riley's
Yeah.
billing as a top tier offensive coordinator,
Yeah.
top tier quarterback guru.
Mhm.
I think that this has shown top and bottom because before he'd always been working with top tier talent.
Right.
And last year, first time they kind of get your hands on the guy and don't take it that way. And so,
It
and
is
so,
SC.
and so he's able to mold him into something that is, dare I say, like a top 5 quarterback in the nation, right? Or at least
He might
producing
be a
wise.
top
Production wise,
3. I mean,
he's up there.
I,
I
think
mean-
next year he's a Heisman candidate.
He could be.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
That's crazy.
mean, right
Which
now
is
you're looking at
crazy.
all the
Yeah.
guys that had expectations attached to them at the quarterback position. I think all of them have kind of dudded. So I don't know whether or not he's just superseded expectations to such a degree that he has elevated himself into that, or maybe
Yeah.
the others have just fallen and stumbled their way to meet his level. It may be betwixt the two, somewhere in there is the
Yeah.
truth. Regardless, it's an impressive job by Lincoln Riley, who also has a high recruiting class next year. I think this will certainly be able to bolster. This is a win that if either team gets, they can feel happy about it.
Yeah.
I think Michigan, if they go on and have an up and down season, but at least they have this win, they can feel really confident and say, but look at that team that is up and coming and had a lot of promise before we beat them.
Yeah.
It's going to look great. Same on the flip side.
Yeah.
I think USC can say, look at that Michigan team that has all the talent in the world. We beat them as they came to our house, and they have talent up and down the wazoo. Let's go.
Dare I say that USC and their passing game with those receivers may be the best in the country.
Best in the country.
Think
I'm gonna
about
say Bama, but I think USC
I think it's
is.
close.
I think USC is very good there.
It's really close.
You could say Tennessee too. They're up there.
I
for
can't
sure.
say Tennessee. You can.
I could say
You're the
Tennessee.
only one who can say Tennessee.
I'll say it.
I
I mean, that
think
offense looks
those
great.
receivers at SC are wow.
Oh, they're studs.
I mean, those
Yeah,
are
I mean-
Sunday's receivers. I mean,
They've got dudes who can beat you against a really vulnerable secondary. I think Michigan's going to be that team who we look at the beginning of the season because they have a freshman quarterback,
Yeah.
true freshman quarterback, who just turned 18 a month ago.
yeah.
And so it's going to be like, all right, they're going to look a little bit down. And by the end of the season, I think Underwood's going to figure it out. And we're going to think, ooh,
Yeah, he's a true redshirt.
you're true freshman.
So
Not
who are you
even a
taking?
redshirt. Yeah.
Who- SC,
sorry,
Michigan.
yeah,
I'm taking USC.
You're taking USC.
I think USC wins
Who are you
this game.
taking?
So it's a weird game. Michigan,
Just
I think this
do
is
it.
their second meeting all time, right?
Yeah.
Second meeting all time.
Something like that.
Well, they've met in the
Never
Rose Bowl
been.
a few times, haven't they?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I'm
Have
pretty
they?
sure this is number 2. Is where
should not be in the same conference, but that's a whole nother
that's
conversation.
a whole other thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, and true. I'm not even disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'll go with USC already having the disappointing loss, being able to revert their attention to details, not taking this lightly, not that they would have before. I think it would be USC, and it'll be close.
I think it's a high scoring game, and I think it's USC on top.
If it's a high scoring game, USC will win that game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Michigan can't score in a shootout.
Yeah, and I still think it'll be a high scoring game. I think SC puts up a big number.
Yeah.
I do. I think, but they can give up depending on who's healthy in the back end of the defense. We'll see. I mean, hopefully that back end plays better today. So
And
it's
look
tough.
at this run game too. Like I have the stats up here. Wayman Jordan 7 yards per carry. Eli Sanders 5.6.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, and Mekhi Lemon's been so good this year.
Kyle Lemon's a stud.
He's absolutely, he's legit. And so USC's just got more weapons on offense and the front seven to stall Michigan.
If we're sticking in the Big Ten just really quickly, I'm morbidly curious, and I'm just especially
Morbidly.
yeah,
Morbidly.
no, incredibly morbidly because I love it.
Sounds like the
Um,
girls that Ralph dated.
They're morbidly.
they were morbidly curious. Wow,
Is it
you can
morbidly?
barely see.
Morbid.
So anyway,
Oh, no. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Northwestern goes to Penn State, and Harris, I just want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
21.5 is Penn State. I have lost all confidence in Penn State so much that
You should.
I
After
have no
last week?
reason to think that they can cover a 22. And I know it's Northwestern Penn State. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody should. It's an unranked Penn State team, deservedly so.
Yep.
Do you think Penn State covers that number? I'm just as an
I
aside.
am staying away from that game completely.
This is why I was
Good
morbidly
idea.
curious.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I'm not touching that game at all. But Penn State, I've been, talked about in the text line by people saying, "Hey Harris, you always put a positive spin on it." I heard a couple people say that. I have legitimately nothing positive for Penn State. I'm like where they are right now.
Drew Allard,
Because think about it.
James Franklin.
Jerry
Yeah.
Sandusky.
Yeah.
That's a wet fart.
Yeah,
right
that's a whole
there.
nother thing. But think about this though. The amount of guys that they lose to the NFL. Hour's probably gone. Singleton. Allen is probably gone. Denai Dennis Sutton's gone. Zakee Wheatley, AJ Harris. These are all dudes that returned and they could have gone to the NFL. And they were like, oh, we got unfinished business in Happy Valley. And so you think about it, short term, they lost to UCLA, which inexcusable
Mind-blowing.
loss. Mind-boggling loss. I have a bunch to say on that. But the long term, and people are saying this Penn State, Texas, those losses last week were the same. They're not the same.
No, Texas,
I heard people say that.
Yeah, anybody saying that Texas
No.
Texas loss was like equal to Penn State is completely different. I mean,
Absolutely
also
not.
anybody saying that loss specifically was on Arch Manning, he can hang. You can hang a lot of losses on him. Out of the 3, but 2 of them could be arguably on him. That one was not. That was the offensive line of Texas.
He was under pressure on 63% of his dropbacks.
It was outrageous.
He's not. He's
63%.
unimpressive.
I'll say I agree with that. He is unimpressive. There's some concerns there.
Yeah.
Long term. But Penn State, man, I wish I had some positive news because they're great fans, but I have nothing. Like there's short term. So the offensive coordinator of UCLA, Jerry Neuheisel. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't. Did you see the headset thing?
I do
No.
not.
So this is crazy. So he just got recently promoted to offensive coordinator. And to those that have worked in production, you work with these headsets and you toggle it down if you want to talk to the director.
Sure.
So these teams work with those headsets. Jerry Neuheisel didn't know how to work the headset because he was practicing for 2 days only to call plays. And so he would try to call a play, but he wouldn't lower the headset.
That's funny.
And so legitimately, there were times where UCLA didn't even have a
That would-
play.
That would explain the quote unquote designed scrambles that happened.
Yep.
Because it
Yep.
was you were like, why are they running him so much? It's effective.
Yep.
And it's working every time.
And no one could teach him how to do this.
No, well, he just forgot because it was like his first couple days of doing it.
He's an
He
idiot.
never used that.
His dad was
When
an
I
idiot too.
first started working in production, I had the same problem because I was like, how do you like talk? How do you do this? Someone had to teach me. And so it's the same thing.
Well, speaking of
Crazy.
trying to teach an old dog some new tricks, Bill Belichick over there. My goodness.
We are just going point after.
Good segue.
My God. So he's over there in UNC, and the rumor has it
Yeah.
that has been denied by
Yeah.
those officials, the official powers that may be.
Yeah.
But the rumor has it, and I'll tell you the accreditation for this said rumor is that there has already been a buyout discussed, and the
Yep.
buyout is not the 20 million that we are all familiar with, or I think 60 million is even
Yeah.
what it technically is on the full end. It's the $1 million triggered buyout that would happen if Bill Belichick were to leave via another job. That is the rumor that circulated this week.
Yeah.
And it is by this very same person who was so ahead of the story of Bill Belichick going to UNC in the first place that that is why anybody lent accreditation and validity
Wow.
to this new rumor from the very same source. I at the moment I forget his name. He's on Twitter. Go enjoy that thread if you
Pete
want.
Nakos, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
something like that. He's
like
in the
that.
UK. It's a very odd source to be like reporting on things.
But he did the Nico stuff well too.
Yeah,
And him leaving Tennessee. So
absolutely. So he anyways, rumors have it the quote that is circulating is that the Rats are trying to leave the ship. That they feel upset about what they're doing to the kids who signed up, and especially like the transfer kids
Oh yeah.
who went there for Bill, and Bill's supposedly supposed to leave within the next 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that's supposedly where they
In
are.
the next 2 weeks.
In the
2
next 2
weeks.
weeks.
His girlfriend's going to let him leave?
She's gonna take over the head coaching spot.
She probably will.
She already is.
No, that would be his son.
Oh, Steve. Yeah.
the only person that he probably has more loyalty to.
Yep.
Guys, what else is there to say? Which angle do you want to go? Do you want to go towards the legacy tarnishment? Do you want to go towards the just absolute fire hole that he's leaving as UNC? Does it damage their ability to recruit anybody going forward? Or do you want to go to some alternate version of just Jordan Hudson talk? What do you want? Which direction? We can
Go
go
so
in
many
any of the
So
three.
you can go every one of them.
Yeah.
His legacy is not getting tarnished because what he did in the NFL, he did in the NFL. And no one's ever going to forget that, right? That's fantastic. He's a Hall of Fame coach, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
This is like the dementia part of his life, right? He got sick. He went and coached at UNC and blamed the UNC people for bringing him in. That was a huge mistake. They should have
Yeah.
never brought him in. It was a joke to bring him in.
I can see why
He
they
needs
did.
to leave and be done.
You know what it's like? It's like Harvey Dent if the end of his life went public.
Harvey Dent. What a pull. What an insane pull that
That's pretty good.
I
Tell me I'm
love
wrong.
that, but I
Yes.
just, wow.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
This
It's
will
like
be
this,
something that'll never get talked about or remembered, I don't think. It'll get let go.
If he leaves mid-season amidst this in the most selfish of ways with how he's involved his girlfriend on the field, that is very unnatural.
It's so
If-
unnatural.
If he
Yeah.
does this, I think I agree with you. His legacy does not change.
Right.
He is
Yeah.
the greatest coach who has ever coached in the NFL currently.
Arguably, yeah.
And that's the thing. When it becomes arguable, when we have a true somebody like LeBron, Michael Jordan, I think this gets used as a tiebreaker. I think,
Okay.
So I don't
Okay.
think it brings
Fair.
him down. I
Fair.
think that little part is like, you know what? What did he accomplish with Tom Brady?
It's fair.
Because without Tom Brady, I should say. Because I've never been one to buy that argument. Because yes, he hasn't accomplished anything with Tom Brady. Keep in mind, Tom Brady is the person to have done it the longest. So the
Yeah.
fact that you are already starting at a 50 around 50 years old, you're going for an entire Tom Brady lengthened contract and season and an entire career almost pretty much.
Right.
Then it's like, yes, he had some time to do some stuff afterwards, but it was always going to be a short time afterwards to really accomplish anything. He didn't have like a full ability to do anything else.
But in that conversation, does he score points for her hotness?
I mean, for having that much,
Or is
pull-
it just because he has the money and we
If
don't
I
give him
have
any
that-
credit for that?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, if I have
So we
that
have to
much
know.
money,
It's
you don't.
important.
Yeah, that's pocket personality there.
That's
That is all that is.
pocket personality.
Yeah.
I can't believe she literally is on the sidelines and like hugs him on the sidelines and stuff. That is so
It's ridiculous.
unnatural. That's absurd. When
Well,
have we
why
ever
is
seen
UNC
anything like
allowing that?
Okay.
The heck if I know.
Here's my one validating this. If we are all fine and all love Michael Irvin going on the side of the U and getting down on all fours like a dog about to pee on a fire hydrant.
Against Cal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
against Cal.
Yeah.
Jordan Hudson going over there and giving him a kiss in between plays. I can't 100% hate it without being like, there's a little, I mean, Matthew McConaughey being over there on the sideline, nearly throwing in a play himself every so often with Texas. There are some,
There's a difference.
It is a difference,
There's a difference.
but it's not completely just wiping out any nullification.
Let's do this. So we're coming up at the end of the hour. We actually do have a break and we actually do have commercials. Go figure, right?
Go figure.
We sold out.
We got to catch up on the we
For
got
the
to catch
money.
up on the text line. We got to talk a little bit more college football. We're not done yet, but you can address this whole Bill Belichick thing a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
UCLA up. My
Yeah,
goodness.
UCLA
Yeah.
is up 24-7 at the half. My brother says, "Look out, SC. Good luck with that." SC is going to destroy UCLA. Anyway, so hey, thanks for joining us for hour one. Come back for hour two. We're going to get into a little bit more college football. We're definitely going to talk NFL. Right? Yes, we are. Oh my gosh.
100%.
We'll see you in a second. Thanks for joining us. The Weekend Warriors, right here somewhere.
Arizona's solar scene is crowded, and real transparency can be hard to find. That's why we created the Harmon Solar Podcast, an honest, no-pressure guide to going solar in our state. Each episode, we break down the stuff that actually matters. No hype, no jargon, just clear info so you can make confident decisions on your solar journey. Our goal is simple: educate and empower. Solar isn't right for every home or business, but everyone should take a look. Follow the Harmon Solar Podcast on your favorite app. Just search Harmon Solar Podcast. Local, honest, solar done right. Incentives and savings vary by utility, rate plan, usage, and equipment. Not tax or legal advice. See details in the show notes.
After you cook, are you staring at a pan full of grease? Pan dust turns messy grease into dry, scoopable crumbs in seconds. Sprinkle, stir, let it set, wipe it out, done. Fewer towels, cleaner counters, and yes, happy drains. Want to see it work? Open YouTube and search Pan Dust Absorbs Grease, or go straight to our channel at Pan Dust Absorbs Grease. Watch a quick demo, hit subscribe, and share it with your bacon-obsessed friends. It works on cast iron, non-stick, baking sheets, even grill pans. It's plant-based, no harsh smell, and cleanup is weirdly satisfying. Make cleanup the easiest part of cooking. Pan Dust absorbs grease.
Game day, date night, or a midweek bite, make the Spot Neighborhood Grill your go-to. Sizzling burgers, crispy wings, street-style tacos, fresh salads, and shareables that disappear fast. Add an ice-cold draft or a classic cocktail, and you've got your new neighborhood favorite. Wall-to-wall TVs so you won't miss a play, a patio made for Arizona evenings, and that friendly local vibe you love. Find us at 2 Valley locations: Scottsdale at 18,251 North Pima Road, and Glendale on 5350 West Bell Road. Dine in, grab takeout, or order ahead. Find us at thespotgrill.com for the menu, hours, directions, and daily specials. Again, that's thespotgrill.com. The Spot Neighborhood Grill. Great food, great people.
Turn your backyard into the best seat in the house with Curbalite, the app-controlled landscape curve that wraps your trees in color. Pick any hue, run preset scenes, even schedule your lights right from your phone. And on party night, make the lights dance to the music. Choose the traditional round tree ring or the contemporary square. Both install in minutes and link together for bigger, brighter displays. Connect up to 12 sets to frame your whole space. Built for real weather, Kerbalite is tested in extreme heat and cold, so your glow goes year-round. Level up your nights, game day, holidays, or just because. Get Kerbalite now at Kerbalite.com. That's Kerbalite.com.
You're listening to the Weekend Warrior Show. It's time for hour number 2.
It's the weekend.
Hour number 2. I thought he said time for hour number 2.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, everybody. Hour number 2. It's 11 o'clock, maybe 11:01 right now on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm Ralph Romano, alongside my partner in crime, the legendary Philip Amorine.
Hey, baby.
And our guest partner in crime, we've got Triple H, Harris Hicks,
Oh yeah,
Leapers Fork legend,
that's
and
right.
this is the Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, please join the show yourself, as you are always the fourth chair out there listening. You can join us on Facebook, YouTube, or X, wherever you catch our live stream, and comment right there. Or if you want to be more direct, you want to just get to the source of the matter.
Mhm.
If you want to get down to the nitty gritty and tell,
As we always do.
as we always do, tell Ralph that he is just looking fine today. And you want to just say that.
You don't got to tell me the obvious.
Yeah, if you don't want to. But the text line, 844-668-8462. Again, it's as easy to say as pie. 844-668-8462.
Speaking of text line, let's go right there. We got Blissful Hayes on the text line, says, "Good morning, Ralph, Philip, and 5-time. Let's go Fighting Illini."
Yeah.
I want to see if that game's close. They're playing Ohio State.
It is
right
not.
now.
It is currently 20-3.
Oh,
And in favor of Ohio State.
All right.
Fighting
That
Illini
didn't
may
set
have
well,
lost
did
the
it?
fight.
that's exactly how I pictured it.
Then we got LA Kid. LA Kid found our show.
Of
It
course
says,
he did.
"Yes,
Never
I
fails.
found Ralph's show. I was so distraught."
You got to read it in the voice, Jeffrey.
after the
or
demise.
Ralph.
I'm not doing that. I was so distraught after the demise of the Fanatic, and nobody responded to my text. I'm so happy right now that Ralph so continues on. Do you think USC wins tonight, Ralph? I do. I think we all three of us do.
All three of us picked it, yeah.
And
Yeah.
LA Kid, hey, it's good that I'm glad you found us, and thanks for joining us. You
Yeah.
know, you're our top 5. You're top 5 as far as texters.
Listen, you're top 5 in texters, and you're top 1 in Ralph's heart.
Now that is true. Truer
Oh, yeah.
words have never been spoken.
So here's a text from 4563. I don't know who you are, but whoever you are, give us your texter name and I'll put it in our system. It says, "Oh boy, who let this SEC biased child on this show? Still hating on your school, aren't you, Harris? Show some pride in your school, Harris."
Man, I was so pumped to pick ASU. I'm not even kidding. And then the Sam Levitt news came out, and it's like, crap. Utah's going to win this thing badly. Ugh.
We got 2230 on the text line. Same thing for you. Tell us who your text number, your text name is, and we'll put it in there. It says, "Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this the Blender After Dark show? I hear Harris. I hear Ralph. I hear Phil. Where's Jeffrey? We killed him." All right.
He got blended in his own blender.
Yep.
He
He's
messed
stuck
with
in
a-
his blender.
Right. He messed with a Guido and he got Guidoed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really quick. Who do
Randy
you got?
threw him off the roof.
Who do
he
you
got his revenge.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Triple H, Oklahoma, quickly. Oklahoma versus Texas. Who do you got?
This is going to be against a lot of people,
said
but I'm
quickly.
going Texas.
Okay. You know when
I'm
you can
trying,
sense it,
Phil.
Ralph? You know when you're like, no. I said quickly. You're right. You're right.
I know when Phil tells me quickly, then that means usually I'm slacking there. So-
That is true. It is the pot calling the kettle black.
Tesla Travelers and Stops on the text line says, "OU to take down Texas today. Boomers sooner."
So I got to see if Mateer's playing for sure. That's a huge,
Yeah, I was gonna
huge
say,
factor.
I think he's probable.
Yeah, probable, which is crazy. Dude broke his hand like a couple weeks ago.
Well, it helps that it's his non-throwing hand, right?
Mhm, absolutely. Yeah. And so the thing about it, Texas
They'll
got
put
a
him
good,
in an aluminum alloy hand. He'll watch it right now. His nickname coming out of this game, the Claw.
the claw. I give him like a fake, like one of those fake hands.
Yeah.
And what about Tex? I mean, so Arch Manning's been underwhelming.
Yep.
Right.
Oh,
He's not
certainly.
what anyone thought he was to this point.
Yeah, he's not a walk-on Heisman winner.
And maybe unfair to him to crown him the Heisman winner before he even really got a start going. I mean, a really, a major start. So maybe we were unfair to him. I wasn't, but the media was.
For sure.
So maybe he's where he should be in that progression of development, like Maava last year, where he just was not that good that last year, but this year he looks like a Heisman candidate.
Yeah. Did you see that New York Times article about Arch Manning?
No.
Am I allowed to cuss on here?
No, we don't cuss.
Okay.
We try our best not
It
to.
was poo-poo. We'll say that.
It was stringy poo-poo.
That article was poo-poo. But I'll say
It
this.
was crap. You can say crap.
It was crap.
Well,
was crap.
in
Okay,
what
Ralph.
manner? Because I haven't even read it. What
Yeah,
was
it
it
was just talking. He's the biggest flop in the history of
Oh,
college
wow.
football and stuff, and he is a bust and not living up to. And the thing about Arch Manning is this. First off, he's going to be at Texas for a decent amount. I think he's not going to the NFL draft after.
I don't
this
know
year.
how
It's
he could, in
highly
good
unlikely.
conscience. Yeah.
Second off, he is incredibly raw. He's got some things in the pocket. Like people say, oh, he's under pressure on 63% of his dropbacks. But if you watch Arch Manning play, like he does this thing where he doesn't take a full quarterback drop. It's like one instead of 3 or 5 step drops. Like Ty Simpson, you watch, bam, right there, full 5-step drop. That's fundamental. That's mechanical. Arch Manning takes about a 1, and then he does this thing where he drifts right into the defensive line. And so, like, he'll get hit as he throws it, and it's charted as him under pressure. No, that's on the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. And so there are mechanical flaws that I'm really, really surprised have not been fixed.
Well, I mean, nothing beats real life snaps. You talk to any quarterback.
This is true.
To a man.
Yeah.
Even at the time prior when there was an older generation of the NFL where every single quarterback you had waited a year.
Yeah.
Waited a year to start.
Yeah.
All of them to a man said nothing beats live snaps, live bullets. And practice can only do so much.
Yeah.
And Arch Manning, lest we forget, could not ascend beyond Quinn Ewers. Whether or not he couldn't beat him out, or whether or not that was purposeful.
Yeah.
Regardless, he was not able to play last season. He played in 2 games that neither one of them were meaningful. Last season, maybe a snap and a third. I'm blanking right now. But he did not have the experience, and so to go so far as to say walking on as a true freshman. I mean, look at Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is number 1 ranked of his class, number 1 quarterback of his class, and nobody's beating him up for underperforming to this point because he's a freaking freshman.
Yeah,
and we should have looked at Arch Manning to that same pedigree because his experience and leadership is only so much as he can have. Like, yes, he's tenured long enough.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks do we see across, whether it be college or even in football, to where sure you can have all the tenure that you want. Doesn't mean that you're going to walk on and be tremendous. You just you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to look at the whole college football recruiting cycle and how we evaluate quarterbacks. Because you think about it, who are the top quarterbacks in college football right now? Fernando Mendoza, Cal transfer, right?
I look at him all the time.
Yeah, what Joey Aguilar's done at Tennessee. Like, that's a JUCO guy.
I know you look at him all the time.
I do. John Mateer, Washington State transfer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all these guys, and then the 5-stars like, Nico at UCLA hasn't gone well up until today, apparently.
Well, up until last week,
and
and then now again.
And then now today, right. But the others too, like Arch Manning, Malachi Nelson, who's at UTEP now. These guys that are athletes, it doesn't matter if you have an incredible arm. Can you actually play the position? Can you get through your progressions and go from first read to second read to third read? Because that is the most important part. And I think in the recruiting process, we're ignoring that and putting a lot of hype into people who don't maybe know how to do that.
Well, Manning got hype because of his last name.
Yeah,
let's be real.
He played like 3A high school competition.
Right.
He played in a private school in Louisiana, which that's a really public school driven.
Right.
And so,
but his last name is Manning.
Yep. That plays a huge part. It's true.
It's a big part.
Yeah.
And the way he's playing,
yeah,
he looks mediocre at best.
Right.
At best. Back to the text line. 2230 was actually Big George.
Was it really?
It says, it works. This is Big George. Glad to hear your show is continuing on, Ralph. The second best show on Spotify behind the old Daily Blender podcast.
You know what? We'll take that second.
Yeah, I won't. Ralph, much respect to you. Good luck on your Dodgers in the NLCS. I'll be cheering for the Mariners in the ALCS. So we're both cheering for the same stuff, Big George. And All I'll say about the Blender podcast is you never know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. So
You never
stay
know
tuned.
what we're blending up in the
Stay
afternoon.
tuned, my
Nice one, Phil.
friend.
Nice one, Phil.
Stay tuned.
Mhm.
But we're by far better than the Blender.
Well, I
Go ahead.
no comment there.
That's a good idea.
He
You know what
remembered
this-
where he was.
Here's 4563 says, you know what this show reminds me of? That one Blender episode hosted by Phil and Harris where they wouldn't shut up.
Now, you want to talk about
They
legendary.
kept
That was
blabbing.
my favorite episode.
Yeah, they kept blabbing and blabbing for hours without any adult supervision. Thank God Ralph is here to keep these two in line.
I have that episode framed on my wall.
This
Don't
is
ask me how.
Jackwad.
It's
Okay,
crazy
this is
because I do
Jackwad.
too.
Jackwad's back on. Hey, thanks, Jackwad. I am the only adult in the room. There's no doubt about that. So I appreciate you recognizing that.
Not true.
It is absolutely true. I'm going to give you one last topic to talk about college football.
Okay.
I know you mentioned the Gators.
Yeah.
You want to talk Florida Gators?
Yeah, Florida. I mean, the thing about Florida and Texas is I left that game feeling impressed by both teams more than I did before. And I know
Okay.
that's shocking about Texas, but I think Arch Manning showed a little bit more confidence there. I think Florida can win the SEC.
Oh, get out of here.
Mm-hmm. I think they can win the SEC.
You walked into Ralph's studio drunk? How dare you?
Wow.
Wait.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, well, you can believe that Lucy Lou's going to come over here and plan a smooch on you. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Going to win the SEC.
It'll be Lewis Lou, but it won't be Lucy.
Well, I
How
hope this
dare-
gets out that since, no one's been in the station, I've been able to get into Jeffrey's whiskey.
Yeah. You and me both, brother.
Right on.
Now, that is an absurd one win over Texas has got you so. Have you no shame? Have you no decency towards the history of do you not understand who Bill Napier is?
Billy Napier is one of the reasons why I
The
wouldn't.
moment you stop believing in that man is when he earns himself a paycheck.
He won't die, man. He's like that. He's like that wasp. You think you killed him, and then he's just like limping around.
You step on
crawling
that
around
cricket
and
of
you step
Billy
on him
Napier,
and
and
he
he
gets
just
stung.
hops up and starts chirping up in the air vent
Yeah.
on you. Like he's a how. You know what? I shouldn't even be upset.
So I'll give my logic here.
Because next week, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know when it's going to happen, but the moment Billy Napier steps up to the field and he's favored, he's going to lose. He's going to pull just some ridiculous thing, and then that's the time when you'll come and try and cry on my shoulder, and I'll say, "No, you did not earn this. You did not earn this today, Pook."
Come on, Phil. I feel like I could cry on your shoulder.
Not Pookie. There's only one.
Go ahead
Pookie.
and earn it. Go ahead.
All right, so I'll say this. First off, I think although the SEC is by far and away the best conference in college football right now, the top is down. The top is very down.
But yet they're still the best conference in football.
They are still the best conference from top to bottom.
You are
They
drunk. Go ahead.
are. They are.
I like it when
Maybe-
the top is down. That's
maybe-
maybe I couldn't avoid that one. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Oh, that's great. Maybe a little drunk. Maybe a little bit.
You need to be.
But all
Anyways, you're making your case. Somehow?
yes, making my case. So the top SEC of the SEC's down. Bama might be the best team in the SEC, and they can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. So there's flaws there. Florida, I look at them, and Dallas Wilson's a kid that everyone here should know. So they haven't had him all season. True freshman, high 5-star recruit.
True.
When he showed up in that game, that offense looked so different. And that's a Texas defense that has not looked that bad, gosh, in like 2-3 years. And they shredded them. Like Dallas Wilson brings a whole nother element. And Florida didn't run the ball against LSU at all. It's not that they couldn't. They just didn't. It was an unbelievable decision and lackluster coaching. I'll give you that, Phil. The core of Jaden Baugh, Lagway, and Lagway's he had a hurt shoulder. He was in a walking boot, rusty. He's going to work off that rust, and he's going to get better throughout the season. And now bring Dallas Wilson into that. This defense is championship caliber. Yeah, I think this Florida team can easily win the SEC. I think they're capable of it.
I'm curious. Do you agree with the current ranking of the U, Miami?
I think they should be one.
What?
So then,
Yeah.
What?
I think that was
I
your
think
only
they should
case.
be.
I think
Miami,
that was your only case because if you did not believe in Miami, you have to.
I believe in
sorry,
Miami
let me
fully.
let me go in reverse.
Yeah.
You, in order to believe in Florida,
Yeah.
you have to believe in Miami because of just how disparaging that loss to Florida looked. Now, granted, I think one thing that is understated that everybody will forget as time goes on, so it makes sense to bring it up.
Yeah.
Is that the U specifically has played in a hurricane like the entire beginning. They have not left Florida, and they've played in windy and rainy and drizzly conditions that have stifled offense. So when
Sure.
it would make sense that when they played against the Florida and vice versa, that they were in less than prime conditions for
Yeah.
offense to flow.
Yeah.
But Florida, I'm telling you, man, and I'm going to keep telling you, and it will prove me right because Billy Napier, that clock is always hitting the right time twice a day on twice a time on every day.
Yeah.
Billy Napier will let you down. And it's just going to take time.
Yep.
And for some reason you believe I am down on Texas is where I came out of that game. I'm not that Florida.
I'm down on everyone at the top of the SEC. Truth be told, everyone in that conference has a problem. Now there's no bad teams in that whole conference. Everyone's good, and so everyone can beat everyone. Florida doesn't have to be as good as Miami or Ohio State to win the SEC.
No,
they can win that conference with flaws, and I
they got
genuinely
'em.
think they do have them. That's true. I think Dallas Wilson brings just a whole nother element to that offense. And they've lost not because they've been incapable. They've lost because they've just had the wrong game plan.
So then you're going to be going out on a limb and betting the entire Triple H fortune on Florida to beat Texas A&M because
All $50 in it.
Yeah, the whole,
I am.
because that is the only
Yeah.
that is step one of your claim that they can ascend to the top of the SEC.
Yep. That is step one of my claim.
You are high.
That
man.
is my
you
claim.
Are high. You are inebriated at this current state and time,
All right.
and it is disrespectful to Ralph more so than me.
Yeah, I'm very disrespectful.
Yeah, you should be.
Blissful Hayes is on the text line, says the Weekend Warrior show is way better than the Blender.
Yeah.
The thing, and he talked about how Jeffrey kind of blocked him and Mr. Pringle for whatever reason. I don't even know, but
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not gonna speak now. I'm gonna choose to
No
invoke
blocking
my
here,
Fifth Amendment rights.
we love Blissful Hayes. He's a great dude. He actually bought us some drinks at the last
That's
Super Bowl
cool.
thing.
Oh,
Good
that's
for
right.
Bliss.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great
awesome.
guy.
We love Blissful Hayes.
That's awesome.
Uh,
There you go.
This is Big George back on the text line saying, "Oh wow, Ralph, hearing that the Daily Blender may come back." See, now I started a rumor. Hearing that the Daily Blender may come back just made my day. I've been lost these last 2 weeks from 3 to 6. You are married. You can spend time with your wife. I'm finally caught up on the Daily Blender, Weekend Warriors, and Coast to Coast AM podcasts. I didn't say they're coming back. I just said you never know what may happen. That's all I can say. But
It's not all he will say, but it's all he can
that's all
say.
I can
Yeah.
say.
He has a hard time getting a lot of words out.
But
But we're here for him.
the Big George, we're here every Saturday, so we ain't going anywhere either. So anyway, all right. Should we switch gears now?
Yeah, let's move
Should
on
we
from
do it?
Saturdays to the other
We
day.
talk about the week that
Sundays.
was.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the games of last week.
The games of last week in the NFL.
Mm.
There were some interesting ones. Where would you like to start, Phil?
Where would I like to start? Well, there were a lot of great
I-
games. There were a lot of close ones.
I'd like to talk about the Cardinals.
Oh, let's do
there's
it.
The Vikings. Yeah, of course we're starting with the Cardinals.
Phil predicted this game. It's on social media. There's
It is
proof.
blasted.
It is all
And
over the
so
place.
am I.
It has 300 million views, a million likes.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Up it.
But Phil said that the Titans, that juggernaut of an NFL squad, would beat the Arizona Cardinals.
I told you when I was wrong
You
that the
did.
Titans are not going to make the playoffs. I told you that I was wrong for believing in them, but I told you I'm even less of a fool than to think that the Cardinals can knock Cardinal and lay an egg at the home nest.
You did say lay an egg a lot.
Yes, it was needed. It was necessary. It was demanded. And of course, the Cardinals found the historic way to prove me right.
Yeah.
Was I worried? No. Did I have faith in my prediction? Yes. Did I know that DeMarcado would be forever posterized in history for just being yet again the next person? You know what? And for all of you buffoons out there who are saying, "Oh, he actually made it across the," I could give one wet willy whether or not he made it across the line. He made it a question, and you know what? When there's a tie, it goes to the freaking defender. Okay. So as soon as he starts to even get close to there, you run through the end. Ralph, when you were in track and field 75 years ago,
Track and field guy.
yeah, did they not say
He
run
screams it.
through the line? You run through the line. Why are you even making it a question? Why are you even giving? That is the ball. You protect your house. You protect your team. You protect your family. Oh my goodness. So, anyways, that's not the only place where it ended. The fact that they're like Tyler Lockett, the lone touchdown that he's probably going to get all season, somehow managed to make an interception touchdown. It's impressive as all get out. Look, the Cardinals are many things. Contenders, they are not. And we knew that the moment that they had an expectation, I don't even know. You know what? Right now, Kyler Murray is in injury protocol because somehow a football to the face gave the man a concussion. I don't know how. I do not know how that they were going to do it. I told you I do not have the reasoning, and partly why is because I did not foresee history being made on how they were going to be able to do it. But I knew that the Cardinals were not going to be able to handle prosperity well.
Yeah.
And you know what? Somehow they bullied themselves up. They said, we're going to go out on a date tonight and going to get to third base. And they said, we're going to get our third win by somehow feeling proud of ourselves by beating the Saints and the Panthers.
Yeah.
And now the Tennessee Titans, they're next up to feast. Well, guess what, guys? You got tightened.
So
You got tightened.
Kyler, I'm going to ask Kyler a question. Kyler, was that a bad loss?
There have been some tough losses for you, Kyler, but where are you thinking right now after this one?
I don't really know what to think about that. As I don't even know. I really don't even know. That's how to lose a game 1-on-1. I don't know. That was crazy.
What a buffoon. This is your leader.
Again, to be fair, the man is probably concussed.
Yeah.
He got a football straight to the face.
Straight to the temple.
I mean, this is the guy you're looking to win games, to be relevant, and that's his presser. He sounds like a moron.
So I woke up on Sunday, okay, and I said, okay, the Titans are playing the Cardinals. Well, you know, I'm just going to do something else. You know,
I was going to say, be honest, you did not watch this game. I know Triple H. He had options. That is a man with options. And with options, he is, especially as a semi-Titans fan, no self-respecting Titans fan looked forward to that game.
Yep. So I look at it and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do other things. You know, I'm going to hang out with some friends. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to touch some grass. You know,
I'm going to touch some grass.
Do something that actually will
grass
make me
between my toes.
And I see that. And I say, okay, you know, it's 21-6. All right. Well, this is exactly what I thought. I turn on the game. Why not? And I see the DeMercado thing, and I'm like, what is that? Okay, what's this feeling that I'm feeling here? And then I see all of a sudden, all right, we're driving. Oh, dang it. Cam Ward threw a pick. No, I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up. And, you know, I go through the whole spiral of like, we're never going to win a game. 0-17. Oh, what's that? I look back at the TV. He drops it. Wait. It rolls into the end zone. We recover it. We score. I was fully expecting 0-17. I was telling all my friends, guys, we're cooked. This is the worst team in NFL history. We have nothing. And all of a sudden, I look and see the fact that we won that effing football game. And I couldn't believe it. I missed, you know, I've of course missed being on the Daily Blender a lot. I missed it so much that day. Because the amount the amount of gloating that I could do, and you can see it. You can see the grin in my face right now.
That's why we brought you here to do it.
That's right. I'm gloating. I am absolutely gloating. Because, hey, look, we may be 1-16 by the end of the season, but that win to me,
that one win is worth so much.
17 wins.
Yeah, I get it, man. I do. I get it.
And you know what's funny is across the league, everybody is like saying, you know who doesn't deserve that win? Like the only person who doesn't deserve that win is the head coach. Like that head coach is just finding ways to lose.
Yeah, he's bad.
He is so bad. And I think that's the only thing that Titans fans are upset about is that puts a damper on we can't fire him after a win, even though it's the worst win and the worst loss simultaneously, all in one for both teams. That is the worst way that you could have possibly won for the Titans, and that is the worst way that you could have that is the worst loss in history. Like not even Cardinals history. Worst loss in history. It is so improbable on how that happened in so many different ways. It's crazy.
It was the most dumbfounding football game I've ever watched in my life. And I've seen some high school games, peewee, college, you name it.
I say this in true empathy. True empathy.
Yep.
I could not imagine watching that as a Cardinals fan. I couldn't. Being a season ticket holder and watching that tire fire in person,
couldn't believe it,
and just seeing that all just fall down. I had some Cardinals fan as they were driving for the kick saying, how are we going to lose this game? How is it even how's it mathematically possible? How is it just how is this reality one that we are existing in where we are going to lose this game at home to the Titans, who are abysmal? I love it. We sniffed it out, boys.
Let's keep this vibe. Let's go to the text line. Big George comes back and says, I'm curious to get, you just got it. I'm curious to get your take, Ralph Harris and Phil, on the Cardinal debacle, which we just gave you against the Titans.
Oh, did you sniff it out, Big George?
What a joke of an organization for them and their fun. What a joke of an organization for them to find their coach for disciplining that bum, Amari DiMarcardo. Way to undermine your coach. Okay. So I want to get on that. I want to. So let me go down the road and then you guys take over and yell. Okay. So yes, I watched that on the sideline and I was kind of blown away by it when he hit him. I mean, he flat out hit the player.
Yeah, that was not like a chest pump, like Mike Tomlin, I think, is one who does like the fist, like, get, we're gonna do.
That's what my wife does to me, like 3 days a week. I get smacked like that, right?
Yep.
So he came out the next day.
Right on the Woody Woodpecker.
Let's listen to his apology. Here's his apology real quick, and then you guys can go off.
Yeah, I actually, I woke up this morning and didn't feel great about it, honestly. And so in the team meeting, I addressed it. I apologized to Omari, apologized to the team. And I just told him I kind of let the moment of what happened get the better of me there. Obviously, like I try to be emotionally stable and calm because my job is to solve problems when during a game and kind of lead the charge on that. So it's not really who I am, who I want to be. And I told the guys that today. So it's a mistake by me, and it's just like everybody in there. Everybody made some type of mistake yesterday, which is, culminates to why we didn't win the game, and we can't let it happen moving forward.
Okay, so real quick, here, a point I want to make, and then you guys go off, right? Yeah. He makes an apology. I genuinely think he feels bad about what he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But then he gets to the end of the apology, and he has to point out that, well, I made a mistake, but so did everybody else.
Yeah, way to just offshore that blame.
Exactly. He offshored it big time. He pushed it away from himself at the end, which that to me was a bigger mistake. He shouldn't have done that in that apology. It does. It actually destroyed his entire apology.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Beyond that, you guys
Ralph, he just woke up.
Right, he just woke up.
You know what? I just happened to think about it. With my Honey Nut Cheerios, I was thinking, you know what I really shouldn't have done? Get out of here.
My question is, and then you guys can rip him all you want because I think he deserves it. But we are year 2 with this guy. And I think one of the biggest things you look for in a head coach is how he changes the culture. And I feel that the culture of the Cardinals is not any better, if not worse, than it was before he got there.
Yeah,
he's failing in his job to change that culture to a different winning culture. He's making it worse, I think.
Right.
Part of that is you have a leader in Kyler Murray that just doesn't want to be there, doesn't belong there. He's not a good player. You need to move on him. And then I think this guy's inability, he sounded so soft. And when he talks, he sounds really soft. And then he goes and punches a player on the sideline, right? You lose your players when you do stuff like that.
For a football-related thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So where's this at with him now? Is his job in question as we get to the end of this year? Because I think now there's a real conversation of, maybe this guy is in over his head, and maybe we need to look somewhere else and bring somebody to come in here and really change the culture of this team because this organization is going in the wrong direction. You guys go.
This is what losing the Titans does to a person.
I love that take.
That's funny, dude.
That's good.
Yep. That's what it does. I mean, and in terms of him losing his job, yeah. I think it's really a mistake that's, I'm going to say inexcusable, man. And there's absolutely, it's a football related thing. In the end of the day, he didn't do anything personal to you, right? I mean, to hit a guy, that's like, hey, you teach these same rules in kindergarten, treat everyone how you want to be treated. And it applies here, man. Like, he made a mistake. And I know I sound like a cornball for saying that, but man, that's completely,
no, you're right.
Yeah. It's completely and utterly an unacceptable mistake. And where the Cardinals are right now, like, let's talk about the Cardinals culture. Because you see it in the NFLPA reports. But you see it absolutely F everything. So it starts with the ownership.
And they got an A on something. I forget what it is. Just
it was
absurd.
something.
It was like daycare.
It was more of a charity.
They take care of our kids.
It was a charity day. I mean, let's be real. But yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, they've got issues. Starts with the ownership, but the head coach, absolutely, that's going to destroy your culture. You can't do that.
What a big man. Like that's no, it's seriously like that is such a sign of just a weak, ineffectual leader.
Absolutely.
100%.
Look at the guys around the league who could get away with that. You look at, I don't know,
Tomlin.
D'Amico Ryans, Tomlin. You look at Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
You look at
Mike McDonald, could get away
Dan
with it.
Campbell,
Brian Callahan.
all
Just
these
kidding.
guys who could.
Yeah.
And they don't. Why?
Yeah.
Because if you have to do that, I get it. He's not a former player. He's somebody who probably in stature, in physical size, does not compare to them. So he's trying to connect, whatever, and it's just a baseline thing, I guess.
No, he connected.
And he connected. What was the first sign, if not amongst the many, but like the one that sticks in everybody's craw about when the Urban Meyer tenure in Jacksonville ended?
The
It was when
kicker?
he kicked the kicker.
Yeah.
And that's when he completely lost the team.
Yeah.
I think that this is certainly a moment where you can look back and say Jonathan Gannon lost the team there because he, again, went to sleep and woke up the next day.
I know.
And it's like you couldn't
Happened to think about
it
it.
just happened to, oh my goodness, what happened between the time of the game and what happened between the time that you made a press conference about it? Oh, was it because that the video came out and people started to ask questions of like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened here? I think it's just such a sign of such a small person that is trying to, who is above their skis, trying to gain authority in just a way that is completely undemanding of themselves.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the culture? I think that was a great point. I also I'll simplify it even more. What does he do that's well? He's not on the offensive side of the ball, so I can't attribute him, not like they're doing great in that side. It's not like he hired somebody great over there.
Yeah.
But the defense, every time we're like, oh, it looks impressive. And then we go back and see the teams that he stifled.
Yeah.
They're teams that are underperforming anyways.
Sure.
I don't look at him. And even when he got hired, do you remember that hire? It came off of an Eagles Super Bowl because it came from the Eagles coaching tree. Oh, that was the time that the Eagles didn't perform in the Super Bowl, did not have a defensive masterpiece, did not do well in defense the entirety of the year almost. Like both sides of the ball got hired that offseason and the offensive guy is over there, Shane Steichen in Indy, actually doing his side of the job and a tremendous amount with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
What has Jonathan Gannon done to deserve any credibility? What has he done to get any validity with his team? Of course he's having to do this because the team probably is rolling their eyes because both of their leaders in Kyler Murray and certainly Jonathan Gannon now are ineffectual guys who he goes up there and he's obviously not a yeller. He's not a motivator. He's not even like a guy like Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, to where they are intense. You believe that they're there. They don't need to yell. They don't need to. If you so felt, you know how you affect him. If you so feel righteous about this, you just cut the guy. That is the pinnacle cut guy. Yeah. And now you are unable to even do that because you could not keep your composure as a leader, as a man, as a person. And the only reason why this is being acceptable in a workspace is because it's football. And it shouldn't even be that. It shouldn't be that you should be able to put your hands on him. I get it. You're on a football field. It blurs the lines. That being said, it is Ralph, if he comes over here and does anything but lay a smooch on me, we are going to get physical in a way that is. So I mean,
you'll get physical.
Yeah, you do not put your hand on a man in a workspace. I don't care what it is. Like again, the closest you can come is the Mike Tomlin, like we're pumping it up, like or I think even Mike Vrabel one time like headbutted a coach headbutted another player while they had a helmet on and he doesn't. Like those are times where it's like that makes sense to me. That is totally like raw. This out of bounds, out of lines, ineffectual.
Fireable?
Yeah.
I would.
They already fined him.
I would have fired him.
I think if this is a log that in all but actuality ends his tenure there, and when we look back on it, I think it is the fireable offense.
Yeah, I agree.
That you can certainly get out of it. I don't think it's necessarily like they're not going to fire him this week, certainly, but it is something that was the final log.
You know, there's like those college football coaches that have hefty buyouts and then, conveniently he gets punished by the NCAA. And so they find the loophole. I wonder if this is a loophole.
No, I don't think so. Only because the fine came from the Cardinals themselves, which I found odd.
Yeah, that is odd.
It didn't come from NFLPA. It didn't come from the league either. It came from the Cardinals themselves when they wasn't at the behest.
But don't you think the NFLPA might look at this though at some point and want to do something about this? He hit
I would
a
have
player.
thought they would have done it to begin
and maybe
with.
they are talking. Maybe there's something going on in the background. But he hit a player.
I don't know.
He physically assaulted a player.
Trust me, I agree. I don't think that they would. I think that this was it was odd that it took time to get there, and then also the Cardinals went ahead of the punishment. Like usually that's a college football move where you punish to get ahead of the punishment to serve and to be like, okay, we'll accept this. It doesn't usually work in the NFL.
Maybe the league told them, you better do something before we do.
Maybe it's confusing.
And
I don't
you
know.
got to factor in where the NFLPA is right now too. They're in really,
They are.
really bad spot.
You know what? That's an
Yeah.
excellent point. That is
Yeah.
an excellent point.
Yeah.
Jack Watt's back on the text line says somewhere Randy White had a stroke at the end of the Titans and Cardinals game.
Oh, my
Didn't
God.
he predict the Cardinals would win 1,901-2?
Yeah, Randy
went
fell
nuts.
off the roof when that happened. He just fell right off.
He fell and he grabbed Jeffrey and threw him with him.
Yeah, there you go. He landed on Jeffrey.
Blissful, Jeffrey. Blissful Hayes is on the text line says, I think Demarcado broke the plane of the end zone. I don't think he did.
Again,
And who
now-
cares?
Now that's a completely different argument. Whatever. Like now
Yeah.
we're in a different zone.
Yeah.
On that one, I don't care. Why are you making it a question? Why do they need to go to instant replay? If they're having to go to instant replay in the Super Bowl against the Steelers in a to whether or not it's a catch against you, that's one thing. Why are you as the player holding onto the ball making it a question if you cross the plane or not?
Yeah.
Ensure it. Go do the Barry Sanders. Go through to the end zone,
Mhm.
hand the ball to the ref, then go and do 20
Mhm.
jumping jacks and make a little rowboat or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And before that, what are you doing?
Yeah, and this is such a common thing.
It's getting more
People
common.
do this
yeah.
all the time. It's
Oh.
getting more common.
Dare I say this is the last one of the season?
Probably.
Dare I? I mean,
Good,
I know we
probably.
would have thought that AD over there in Indianapolis, which funny enough is we are looking at the bowl of fumblers or self fumblers over here this weekend. But that being said, I think that this was so big that
Yeah.
this was such an egregious thing. I do not think that there's a team in the league who's not like putting this specific moment on tape and saying, I don't care where you think you are. I want you to see the ref's hands before you toss them the ball, before you let go. Because anybody does this, I don't care who the heck you are, you're cut.
Big George back on the text line says, I said this at the beginning of the season. Fire Jonathan Gannon. Fire Monty Austinford. Get rid of Kyler Murray. Sell the team.
Funny thing about Big George here is he's always right with Cardinals stuff, with like Arizona sports related stuff. When he wants someone fired, usually he's right.
He said the Cardinals are the joke of the NFL from the top down.
Yeah.
I can't argue that. I mean, top down, they're pretty bad.
I think that it's possible. I'm trying to think. Now with Dan Snyder gone from the Washington Commanders, are the Bidwells the worst owners in
They
the
might
league?
be.
They might be. It's
They're right
a question.
there.
I
They're right
mean,
there.
It's a question.
Titans ownership is for sure up there, I would say.
Yeah.
Well,
And
but they've
she's
had,
single-handedly responsible for AJ Brown getting traded, for Vrabel getting fired.
but they
for
had
Aaron
success
Murray
to
leaving.
go down from.
Sure, that's true.
What
That's a
have the
good point.
Cardinals done since Kurt Warner?
Nothing.
Nothing.
They've
Like
gotten
they had
worse.
one JJ
Absolutely
Watt year.
nothing. Yeah.
Since they've brought in Gannon, I feel they've gotten worse.
Oh well,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, that's 2
culture
years.
wise, everything wise, they're
Sure.
getting and they're
Woody
if you-
Johnson's
There's nothing there.
Woody Johnson. I mean, when he said the Jets owner, when he said he drafted
that's
players,
pretty bad.
he drafted
That's-
players because of
that's pretty
who
bad.
his son likes on Madden.
Yeah, when he's done. Yeah.
You got to give him that for saying it.
I mean,
though.
dude, I respect him for being so honest. Like, I'm like, dude, that's hilarious. But also, like, look at your history the last 20
It's pretty
years.
funny.
You know what?
It is funny.
On something
It's
that's
really
not on
funny.
our sheet, but like since we're on the topic of owners, I
Yeah.
will say there are times that I absolutely adore Jerry Jones. This week, Ralph, did you see this?
The $250,000 flip off.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I
He
didn't see
goes and Jerry being Jerry
Yeah.
is going around, he's up in his suite just clapping, job well done. Dak Prescott, I paid him his money, I did. And then all of a sudden he sees some Jets fans heckling him, as well
Yeah.
they should. And after giving a thumbs up, he gives them the bird. And
You gotta love that.
I love
man.
that. I love that.
I
First
love
of all,
that.
that's incredible. It's not like an actual thing. It's not an animus, and
Yeah.
filled with animosity. It was just like, yeah,
Right.
go F yourself. Now he does that, and then after the fine is levied against him, he then says, you know what? That was just a miscommunication error, whatever he said. We meant the thumb, but we just in
just hit with a
that
middle
motion,
finger.
we somehow just fumbled at the kickoff there. I don't know how it happened, but I accept the fine. It was
Okay.
absolutely
What's
beautiful.
going on in Dallas? It's like it's like England. Like you don't ask
England.
for Queen Elizabeth or the monarchy, but you get it anyway.
LA Kids back on the text line says UCLA destroying MSU 38-7, Ralph.
That's
I-
wild.
I did not see this turnaround coming. Maybe the head coach was the problem. And I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Pains me to see UCLA doing so well as a USC fan. Don't worry, SC is going to destroy them.
I will say UCLA, if they are more so of what they are now, I would worry that their quarterback might get destroyed by the end, because the way that they're doing this is certainly out of a lot of quarterback scrambles and designed runs that I would worry that that's going to last an entire season.
Yeah.
But what do you have to lose? I mean, the season was gone
From a football standpoint, it's like you put a linebacker on a spy if he just takes off every time. And usually those linebackers are able like to catch the quarterback.
Usually.
But Nico's just making these guys miss. Penn State's starting linebacker there, who would have had that assignment, was hurt. Not to make excuses for Penn State, but that did play a factor.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
I
I don't know
really
if it's
before we
sustainable.
go into picks and the stuff like that. One last topic. Dart and Scatterboo on Thursday night.
Oh,
I want to talk about that.
Let's.
Heck yeah.
I was a skeptical Scatterboo guy when he was with ASU.
Yeah.
I'm in love with this guy.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Like
to
I have
not
a
love
man
it.
crush
Do you
on
see what
this
is?
guy.
You see that article? Is an awesome article. His teammates talking
Is
about
it from the dirty New York Times?
him. No, it's not.
Those
it's not.
bastards.
Much better. They were like, he's a genuine idiot. His
Hey,
teammates talking
I
about him.
love
A
him.
lovable
Genuine- in a
idiot,
good
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
in a good
I love
way.
him.
Yeah. He'll say
19
stuff, no
carries,
filter.
98 yards, 3 TDs
And he also says the
against
right.
the Eagles.
He also says the right things. Like afterwards, there was a reporter who asked him, "Hey, you outperformed Saquon Barkley. How does that feel? All this stuff." And he says, "You know what? In all fairness and all respect to the question, it wasn't a me versus it wasn't me versus a Saquon Barkley competition out there. It was the Eagles and Giants, and we won, and I'm happy with that."
Hats off to him. If
Yeah,
I
that's
was asked that question,
great
I'd
answer.
say, man, it feels freaking great. Not gonna lie.
You're kidding me? That guy, I brushed him. Yeah, absolutely. No,
I mean, it's
yeah.
like Dart and Scatterboo have given them the injection in the arm
Yeah.
to make them a legit team now.
Yep.
Just that's kind of crazy to think about,
You
right?
know,
I mean,
I have a preseason ticket that was all but dead for the Giants to win the Super Bowl. And,
You what?
I know this was preseason.
Wow,
this was
Phil.
like near the last Super Bowl that I was like, what am I going to do? Cash out on a $20 voucher that is just now a nickel? Like, what am I going to do? So now that value, that cash out value, that is getting pumped. Let me tell you, I think we're at like $5 now.
you might want to cash it.
Yeah. now that I actually have a bill to wipe myself with. Yeah, absolutely. Jalen Hurts in the passing game, I can't tell you what's up with that. There's two problems here, obviously, which is embodied by the Eagles offense. More so than not, though, I have no clue which is worse. Jalen Hurts and his inability to pass and throwing an interception, whatever. More so troubling to me, I think, though, Saquon Barkley.
I was just about to bring this up.
They were heading into the game. The New York Giants were the second worst rush defense heading into this week. I get it. It's a divisional game. And I would say I get it. It's a Thursday night game in an early week, but I'd actually argue that helps you in the run game because you're just able to power through. You don't need a new scheme implemented that you need to practice through. It is pretty much your better players against their lesser players. And the fact that over the past 2 weeks, he's gotten 18 carries is alarming in and of itself. But at least the Giants game, he rushed it 12 times. Guys, I don't even know if I can say it's necessarily on Saquon or if it's their inability to call a game for Saquon or whether or not they're holding him in reserve, because before this game they were 4-1. They were winning with the weird formula that they had going into it.
Right.
So maybe they were just saying we'll preserve him for as long as we can until we need to break glass in case of emergency. That is far more worrisome. That he has fallen pretty far off the cliff that he was last. Like if he was not the 2,000 scrimmage yard rusher that he was near eclipsing last season, this season, I would be fine if he was a step below that. I think we're much closer to just run of the mill Saquon Barkley, which is not what they're signed up for, not what they extended, not what they need. They need more.
Yeah, this season, 95 carries, leads the NFL, 325 yards, 3.4 a carry.
That's half of last year.
3.4, literally.
Yeah.
Literally that. The Eagles as a team here, 3.5 per carry, 29th in the NFL.
Yeah,
29th.
especially for the Eagles. That's bad. Like
They can't run the ball.
Their formula is run the ball with at least
Absolutely. Yeah, and part of it has been, Lane Johnson being hurt for a little bit of it. That does hurt, and that's not
I'd say that's
full
more in the passing game
microcosm
as a
of it.
left tackle.
Yeah, Hurts has been under pressure more often than not, and so that's a concern.
Oh, and side note here, Ralph. And Ralph, I want a face-to-face man-to-man apology here. So we saw it earlier with the Chiefs game with the Eagles, and now again we saw it last night. Say kiss it goodbye, say adios
to
the tush push. Tush push is got. They ran it 4 times in a freaking row.
Yeah.
Where is that? That's not entertainment. That's not enjoyable. That's not offense. Like it's not anything.
So you think it's going away now because of that?
I think it's going away after the season.
Think so?
Yeah,
It almost went away. this year.
Yeah, it was
Almost
all
did.
but, and then now
Yeah.
we're seeing them just abuse it at 4 times in a row.
Yeah, it's
Get
horrible.
out. It's awful. It is horrible for every element of the game. Whether you're talking about strategy, the fact that it's a given, the fact that they run it now so much because their offense is an entire it's all pretty much the only thing that they're holding on to that
Move
they
the
still
chains,
do
no explosives.
really well.
Yeah. That's
Say
what their
goodbye to the tush push. It's gone.
Okay. That's fine. Blissful Hayes on text line says the Giants should trade Russell Wilson to the Cardinals due to Kyler's concussion.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, the quarterback that they should have traded was Jameis Winston to the Bengals. I don't know why that trade didn't go through. The fact that Joe Flacco was your best option to trade for, to leave any draft capital for Joe Flacco was just the wrong decision.
Bitter Dolphin fans on the text line, and I agree with you 100%. It says Cam Scatterbo reminds me of a mix of Larry Zonka and Mike Allstott.
Yeah.
But Cam is more athletic. Zonka and Allstott could never do a backflip.
That is true. Yeah.
I don't hate that comparison. That's a good one.
that's actually pretty
That's
good.
a good comparison.
Yeah.
Larry Zonka. Yes.
Wow.
Mike Allstott. I mean, you weren't, in elementary school, that was the thing. Mike
gonna
Allstott
say-
highlight reel.
He was about to say you weren't, and I was going to say, are you going to tell Ralph that you weren't even born yet?
Jeez. So do you want to get into picks?
Let's pick him.
Let's do it.
So Alabama's up 20-17.
20 to 17.
Side note,
All right.
They're
Washington
watch,
State
early
is
fourth.
up on Ole Miss. Washington State was a 35-point underdog
Wow.
at number 4 Ole Miss.
That's crazy.
Oh, Lincoln.
My goodness, that
All
would
right.
be a bad loss.
Let's get into picks. I got to get Neil's picks because he didn't give them to me yet.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
Neil,
Yeah.
I know you're listening. Send us your picks.
How did we do yet last week? I'm just curious. I want to know. How did we?
Are you curious?
How did we do last week, Ralph?
So I was terrible.
Yeah,
I was
no
1
surprise.
and 5.
Yeah, and
That's terrible.
I know.
Neil was 2 and 4,
I know.
and you were 4 and 2.
Because I had the cojones.
You now have
I
a 2-game
sniffed.
lead on me and Neil.
I darn right do. I told you. Once I take things seriously. Oh, we sniffing. Oh, it smells funky in here. Get out that pointer finger. Oh,
Are we done?
we're just starting.
You're just starting. Okay, let's go into our picks. So here we go. Seahawks at Jaguars. So Phil, let's start
Oh,
with the
you wanna start
Seahawks
with
at
me?
Jaguars. So we know the Seahawks are still having some injuries in the back end, right?
Absolutely.
I think Witherspoon's still out. I think Love is still out. We saw what that did to him last week, and Lawrence is still out. So we know that last week, because of that, the Buccaneers were able to go deep on them, which is something you typically can't do on Seattle, and it hurt them in the long run in that shootout. So what do you think happens this week with the Jags?
Well, you stole a lot of my thunder with the injuries because I
Sorry.
think that no, it's fine. You actually stated it far more eloquently than I could
It's
have.
because I can,
Yeah, because you can, because you are
because of my team.
the sexiest man on the show.
No.
So we go through the entire game preview of this. I'm sorry to say, Ralph, but the Jaguars are winning this game. It's mostly because the Seahawks just have no heart or stomach to win at home. You keep saying
It's not a home game. It's in Jacksonville,
It's in Jacksonville.
but good analogy.
No, I know. Oh, wow. Dang it. All
So
right.
what other reason can you come up with?
What other reason? Well, okay. All right. The fact that it's in Jacksonville, even better. Even better. I like
It's
that.
their home.
All right. I still pick the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the Seahawks, I think that their defense is certainly gettable. I think Baker Mayfield, right now, that team is not whole. And the fact that they were able to overcome it is certainly an MVP performance. The fact that you have a more complete team in Jacksonville who's incredibly healthy right now, and certainly has the defense and the capability. What is the remedy or the thing that is most appetizing to a defense that has turnovers? Oh, hey, Sam Darnold.
Oh, come
on down.
Stop it.
Let's be saying you got another butt fumble in you.
What's he got? 2-3 turnovers all year?
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
And how many of them cost them the game? So I'm
Okay.
just saying the Jaguars are certainly going to feast on the famine of the Seahawks defensive inability to stop them. I think that all that sunshine and galloping has got to do over there for the Trevor Lawrence is going to be able to muster up enough points that the Seahawks are not going to be able to take this one. I think that the Jaguars are legit. I think that that the Jaguars are a team that is worthy of that division crown. Jaguars improved to 5-1 on the backs of the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
I'm going Seattle.
There you go.
It's
That's why you're on
rare.
the show. That's why
It's
you're on
rare
the
that
show.
me and Phil disagree.
It is
Two
rare.
of the
I don't
best,
like it.
Two of the best minds in the business right here coming together. But I have to go with Seattle on this. It breaks my heart, Phil. But Sam Darnold, 9.3 yards per pass attempt, leading the NFL. So Seattle's moving the ball super well.
Yeah, they are.
I think Jacksonville got a little lucky with what went on in Kansas City to win that game with the turnovers and
I
all the
agree.
stuff that happened. And Seattle has a major quarterback advantage in this. I still think they can run the ball super well. Front seven's fine, even though the secondary, there are some questions there for sure. And what they showed in Tampa Bay, give me Seattle.
There you go. That's how it's
Seattle
done,
wins,
Phil.
and I'm going to bet on Seattle.
That's how it's done wrong.
Yeah.
Big George on text line says, "Go Seahawks, beat the Jags. Go Cardinals, beat the Colts." I don't think that's going to happen.
Wait, he's a Seahawks fan?
No,
Big
I'm
George?
surprised he said that, but
Yeah,
I'm happy he said it. So, how dare you talk bad about Sam Darnold? He's probably a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
You know,
the way
it's
the way
October.
he's throwing.
When
I'm
do you
just
see
saying.
ghosts the most?
You look at last year and this year. Show me who's better. His numbers are phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Between him and Trevor Lawrence?
No, I'm talking about him and most everybody else in the
I see.
NFL.
Okay.
He's had a great run.
Yeah,
he
he
looked
has.
great last week. I think they had 5 or 6 drives in a row where they scored a touchdown. I mean, they weren't stopped.
Yeah.
That offense will put points up. No doubt about it. Now, as soon as they get those guys in the back end of the defense back, it will make a difference. I am concerned about that. I'm going to predict another high-scoring game like last week because I feel that Seattle's defense will suffer on the back, unless McDonald can make an adjustment. But I trust him enough to feel that he can do enough, and Seattle will win the game because they'll put the points up, and they're just enough on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm taking Seattle, unlike Phil. Okay. Speaking of Phil Harris, Broncos versus Jets.
No, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Come on now.
Jets, right?
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields has looked great this year.
It is in London, lest we forget.
It is a London game. That does make a difference.
And I need to remind myself, given how I need to see which home games are where.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, the Broncos are 7.5 point favorites, minus 410 to win this game. I think that's an adequate price. This Jets defense, man, they have too much talent to be playing this bad.
I agree.
Yeah, way too much talent to be playing this bad. The secondary has been getting exposed.
Mhm.
And Denver, I think they have the weapons, like good enough weapons to be able to make this defense play look like they've looked this year. And so, yeah, Denver wins. They just have more firepower at the end of the day. The Jets have so many weaknesses on that defensive side of the ball that you would never expect.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. As much as I don't want to take the Broncos in this game just to piss Phil off, I have to.
I know. I look at that grin on Phil's face.
The only saving grace is that it's in London and anything can happen across the pond.
This
Things
is true.
change, right? So
Yeah.
all of a sudden
Things
the
do
Jets can
change.
start playing
The jet
ball.
stream gets in. The wind.
The Jets
the
and their
wind, the
jet stream.
rain, the clouds.
So barring any weird London British thing, it should be the Broncos in this game pretty easily, but you never know. I'll take Broncos.
Yeah, the Jets are about to stream all over themselves in this game. Now that being said, I would take the Broncos to win this game. However, if we're looking at the spread, for those of you who are so inclined to bet, I would take the Jets. Look, the Jets are playing just absolutely below even their level. I think something that can help is getting out of their weird home field advantage, quote unquote, where just they are willing to boo you to all get out. We've seen how injuries affect from that turf. And they're not going to a home game for the Broncos. I think it's actually something that really mitigates a lot of the negative factors that surround the Jets. I think that they're quite unlucky with how a lot of these games have played out. The Jets defense is not as bad as it's looked. I refuse to believe that.
Me too.
Yeah. So I while I do hold and maintain that the Broncos will win, I do think it'll be a lot closer than even 7.5. The Broncos celebrated last game, which God bless them, they should have. Like it was their Super Bowl, which I mean, yes, it is like the first legitimate team that they beat in 2 seasons. I agree. That is something worth celebrating on the road, whatever. I worry though, that because they've done that, whether or not that takes a step down in now facing the hapless, only winless team Jets. And also, fun fact, Aaron Glenn, the first Jets coach in history. And you think about the Jets' entire history.
Yep.
To start out 0-5.
What?
Yeah.
You're
Because
kidding
he's
me.
terrible. I said it when they hired him. What a terrible hire.
That is.
He's not a good head coach.
surprising.
I don't know if he's a head coach. Still remains to be seen.
He's not ready to be a head coach.
What worries me is the fact that I put a lot of stock into how he made that defense ravaged by injury as it was last year.
Did a good job.
This year, the defense looks a little bit better. Even like before the injuries happened, back when they had all their studs and everything in week 1 last season,
Yep.
That their Lions defense now looks a little bit better than even that last year's at full strength it did. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're taking Broncos.
By the way,
I am taking Broncos.
By the way, Jets are giving up 31 points per game this year. Only team
Wow.
that's given up more is the Ravens.
Oh, Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens.
No,
are
not
terrible.
even the Titans.
This season, the trivia question is
We're
always
not
gonna
that bad,
be like,
26.
who's doing the worst? Oh, it's the Ravens. Yeah.
Yep, 35 points per game allowed for the Ravens.
I will say I'd like to
Crazy.
see what that Jets defense defensive metrics are. Take out the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which just feels like the biggest anomaly of all time.
Yeah, and the way they've lost some games, like you said before, the Sauce Gardner call.
Yeah. So next game, can we all agree this is the Neil game? Bengals at Packers. We all taking the Packers.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Flacco has
Oh,
beaten the
stop.
Packers, and nothing would be more
Stop.
funny to me if Joe Flacco is undefeated against the Packers, who
That
then
would
like win
be-
the Super Bowl. Like that would be just such a weird historical side note. That being said, I cannot in good faith pick anything but it astounds me that the Bengals said, you know what the remedy to our situation is? Let's get an even less mobile quarterback
Yeah, that makes
behind
sense.
our bad line, who should it not ring some alarm bells that our divisional opponent, who we have yet to see, is fine with giving up their starter heading into the season. Should that not ring? Like, I get it. They only moved up. Like, they didn't even fully give up a draft pick for him. Even that, any amount that you gave up for him was just too much for Joe Flacco. I'm sorry. I respect Joe Flacco. He was elite at one point in time.
Yep.
Certainly not anymore.
Yep.
But yes.
How about, okay, let's go Titans Raiders. The Titans riding that 1-game winning streak
Somebody
against
must
the
win.
Raiders, who have Bowers out again.
Riding that 1-game winning streak.
And Geno Smith, who's in, unfortunately for them.
You know it's bad when you call one win a streak.
You have to.
Right.
Phil, quickly, who do you like?
Raiders. I believe in Genty.
Okay.
Genty should get 145 with like 2 touchdowns here.
I'm going to take the Raiders too, because I just think there's more talent on that side of the ball. But I think this game could be close.
Do you know what it took for the Titans to win a football game?
Yeah, it took the Cardinals.
It took a dropped ball right before the end zone, a dropped interception that just had to happen to be kicked in the end zone for the Titans to barely win the game. Give me the Raiders.
I think Raiders, and I actually think Raiders big.
Yeah.
If I get
I
any
think the
style
Raiders.
points this week.
Yeah, I think they win.
I think it's like I want to even go like 14 plus 2 touchdowns.
I think the Raiders are a little bit better than what they've displayed. A lot of those interceptions have been like tipped balls, fluky. I think the Raiders are, yeah.
Okay,
Give me
we
that.
got 2 games left. I think
Yeah.
we can all agree on this one. Cardinals, Colts.
Colts.
Okay.
Randy falls off the roof yet again.
And the last game, Phil, we'll start with you. 49ers at Buccaneers. Now, Purdy, I think, is out.
Purdy
and
is
Matt
out.
Jones might
And-
be out.
And Ricky Pearsall's out for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something for people who are getting the fantasy and everything else. I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like a gift that everybody's just taking the 49ers.
Yeah.
Like Mac and Cheese Jones. It felt like last week it was the Rams giving up that game more so than the 49ers winning it. I have a lot of respect towards Kyle Shanahan and what he does. And of course, if Mac Jones is out, even more reason to go with the Bucks.
If he's out, yeah.
If he's out. But yeah, I'm going with Baker.
I talked about the Eagles not being able to run the ball. Only 3 teams lower in yards per carry than them. The 49ers are one of them. They can't run the ball this year.
But gosh darn it, are they trying?
They are trying.
Christian
That's
McCaffrey
right.
is out there being a little scattered.
Got to applaud the effort. I don't think the Niners win this game. Give me Tampa Bay. They're more well-rounded.
I think this is a good game. Because Tampa Bay can score. There's no doubt about that. But
They
they're not very good on defense.
Yeah, which is weird.
Right. So
They've gotten
then-
so much worse there.
I think the Niners could probably put some points up too.
Oh, yeah.
So this game gets interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay too. Is Bucky Irving playing? Do we know?
He's out.
He's out
for sure
again.
out.
Yeah, he's out.
See, I think that just kills Tampa Bay again. I mean,
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I think this is a really close game. This could be another one of those last possession games. But I'm going to take Tampa at home. I think they just got a little more right now, and there's just too much hurt going on in San Francisco. So
yeah,
always is.
Yeah, always is. So that's our last pick.
There we go.
There you go, guys. Any else we have to hit them before we go?
Nothing important. I mean, I'm just curious where everybody leans as we go towards our outro here. I think that the biggest game of the week, as far as ramifications, would be Lions at Chiefs, and I am pretty comfortable in saying that the Chiefs are going to win. Anybody else want to jump on that train, or are we all drinking the 7 shots of espresso with Dan Campbell and the Lions?
I'm with you. I like Kansas City there.
I like the Lions.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah, I think the I'm doing the espresso. I think the Lions win that game.
All right, great game.
We'll
Sunday
see.
night games, except for the Broncos. Sunday night games been great.
Yeah, except for that
So
Broncos.
last
Everything
text, Big George on text line saying we need a third hour of the Weekend Warriors.
Heck yeah.
I can't disagree with you, George. We'll think about it. We can do whatever we
Double our
want.
salary and we will.
So, but not for today. So
Triple
today, thanks for joining us, guys. Hey, we appreciate everyone spending a little bit of your weekend with us. We will be back next week. Same bat time, same band channel. Harris, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Triple H.
So
I
much
loved
better.
being on. I miss it.
All right, man. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. It's the Weekend Warriors. See you next week.